Welcome to the after party. Welcome to the after party. Did you bring some snacks and treats?
Yes, it did.
I hope you got me something to eat.
Maybe.
Welcome to the after party. Coming to the after party.
Right now.
I've been waiting here all day to act like a fool this way. Welcome to the after party. Join us in the after party.
Right now.
Oh, chocolate and dabbing, maybe some microphone grabbing at the after party.
With DJ Eric Payne.
What's up, everyone? Hello. Welcome to the After Party 6.0. It's official. The Flash is back. Pagey's back again as the anti-Chegra Alliance leader, who is also eating at this moment. But we have a special guest today, someone who has not been on the After Party forever because he's always at Hogwarts and always doing stuff inside the castle and casting spells and everything. But he has returned. We have Ben from the DC TV show here, someone that everyone keeps asking for you to come back, and you're never around. And it's like you're finally here, so he's here to talk about the premiere episode for The Flash, the final season, The Flash season 9. So, how is everybody doing today? What's going on?
Very good. Yeah, nothing.
Very good. Nothing exciting.
Can we all comment on the fact that Pagey's been face camming on his videos, his live streams, in the after party? It's revolutionary.
Wow.
Can we comment Ben's Lego Man appearance today? Look like Chris Pratt from the Lego Movie.
I mean, we jump right into the shade. Like it was like 2 minutes in, but it already begins. So this is going to be quite a stream. But we have a ton to talk about. We're going to talk about, well, the topics are going to be the very beginning. We're going to talk briefly about Gotham Knights, kind of get everybody's feelings on Gotham Knights very briefly, just a short little chat about our favorite show that's going to be coming out this year, along with Superman and Lois. So anyway, talk about that. We got a new Flash poster for the Flash movie. We're going to look at that and talk about that. And then we're going to discuss the premiere episode of The Flash Season 9. And if we have time at the end, we'll go over a few quotes from some articles. But that's kind of the layout for today. So it's going to be a packed show. I'm very, very excited. And then at the end, we're going to, at the end of the discussion, I'm going to read out all of the synopsis from all of the premieres from each season. And we're going to try and figure out where we would rank them, I guess, in terms of whether we like them, don't like them. It's not a scientific thing. We're just going to sort of throw it out there.
No, it's usually not, but we're going to make it scientific.
We're going to make it scientific, right?
That's the way to word it, Eric.
Cal Roswell is a Team Eric member for 16 months. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Cal. I appreciate it. Matter of fact, we got some Team Eric members in here. Let me give them some shout outs before we get started. Kang Vader is in the house. Kang, I love it. Cal, of course. Robert Blake, aka Darth Bunyan, is in the building. So yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. We're gonna see people trickle in because this is gonna be an exciting show with the Flash being back. But before we do that, I just want to remind everybody that if you would like to see more live content from myself, you can head over to twitch.tv/Eric's Reloaded. I'm streaming over there at least twice a week, recording videos and content for here, playing games. I'm going to be doing music. I finally got the setup done. Can't show it here, but it's the next stream that I do on Twitch will have music involved. So there we go. Cody's here. Lane Pennington. Hello. Good to see you. T-Bear in the house. Thank you, everybody. All right. So Pagey, Twitch. You're doing Twitch now as well.
Yeah, what's up with the Twitch?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that the answer you wanted?
No. I mean, this past week has been kind of your first official full week.
Oh well, yeah. Well, the next Twitch stream is tomorrow.
We're going to be reacting to trailers, to the Flash trailer tomorrow.
Well, mainly for the Flash movie trailer. I mean, because I'm not going to stream the entire Super Bowl because we'll be there for 4 million hours or whatever.
That's true. That's true.
What time is it when it comes out tomorrow for you? Like midday?
It'd be 10 p.m. your time, I think. It comes out 11 a.m. my time.
The Flash trailer. Someone.
It's 11. It's 11 a.m. for me, so it's 10 p.m. for you.
Okay.
Is there any other trailers we're looking forward to?
Benjamin Archibald Rolfe, if we're going to be extremely formal. Feel free to take part in the Pagey Twitch stream. Eric's going to be there. Warstew's going to be there.
Let's go. I'm coming.
Saddam Hussein from the grave. He might be there as well. It's going to be a very interesting Twitch stream. But Osama bin Laden wasn't allowed. So there is. So don't feel like anyone can come. So just
all right. I won't invite him.
He's only extending.
No. He's just not allowed. It's like no Osama's allowed.
Peppa Pig can be there. I mean,
Peppa Pig is barred. Peppa Pig is officially barred.
But yeah, so
it's getting to the point where Peppa Pig may be a blacklisted word in my chat.
Wow. I might have to do that on mine then if it's going to be that serious. Yeah. Okay, and so
mate, you've got about 74 million blacklisted words. I'm surprised anyone can even type in the chat. Why am I?
Wouldn't it be funny if I blacklisted like just simple words like the and people would just like not be.
They'd just be like, "What? What's going on?"
So Ben, are you not jumping into Twitch? It seems like it's the hot thing to do.
No, but wait, I need an explanation. What's better about Twitch than YouTube?
Okay, so I love both of these platforms, obviously, but yes, Twitch allows you to react to trailers and clips without copyright issues. So if you go over to Twitch, you can literally stream almost anything except like full movies and TV shows and get away with it because they don't flag your stuff for what you're live streaming. Whereas here on YouTube, if we try to react to a trailer, someone
asked what I was eating. It's just like
if you react to a trailer over here, if you don't remember the Justice League, the Zack Snyder Justice League debacle that happened when I was streaming over here and Hallelujah came on, within like 30 seconds, my stream and everybody's stream that was doing it was shut down. That would not happen on Twitch.
Yeah.
So that's primarily what it's.
And have you found that a lot of your audience has come over to Twitch as well?
Yeah, a lot of people have. Matter of fact, the last couple Saturdays we've done a Twitch stream after the after party. But today, since we have so much to talk about, we're not going to do that. My stream will be tomorrow after Pagey's stream. But yeah, a lot of people do come over. They enjoy Twitch. I know some people aren't too keen on it, but you can, if you want to, and I do this with my Team Eric members, and I started it this week. I download my Twitch streams and just cut out copyrighted content and then upload it for my for Team Eric members, so they can see it over here because you can download your Twitch streams after you're done. So it's a way to sort of like cross do content. I like it. I like Twitch. Plus, Twitch allows you to stream at 1080p. So
it's annoying.
A lot better.
YouTube,
yeah. So anyway, all right. So let's jump into the first topic, everyone, and that was there was a new, and Ben, you've probably not seen it, but there was a new Gotham Knights trailer this week. Have you seen the new Gotham Knights trailer?
No.
Okay.
Was that the one we watched on Twitch?
Yes, it's the same one.
Why did I miss it?
It came out this week. It was basically just a little darker than there was no humor.
Oh, yeah, 6 hours.
It was like imagine if Zack Snyder constructed the Gotham Knights universe. That's kind of what it was. They didn't.
I'm
really
watching it now. Is it the Harvey Dent trailer?
No.
This was one with a couple days, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one 6 hours ago.
That's a new one then.
All right. CW, you want to find it? It's on that CW Milwaukee.
But I sent it on the private chat.
Thank you so much for the support, Lizzie Fox. Thank you for being a Team Eric member. You enjoy your custom emojis and badges. Right, Jamie Fox. Also, there's a Twitch stream up from yesterday that you can go back and watch as a Team Eric member when we are done here. So feel free.
You streamed yesterday?
No, I uploaded it yesterday. It's from this week's streams. What I'm doing is I'm taking all of my streams from Twitch and putting together like an hour and a half of the best clips, and then I'll upload those on Friday.
Best.
Well, I mean, you can't get the full experience unless you come to Twitch. There's some stuff that you can do on Twitch that you can't do on YouTube. So, there you go.
So I'm assuming that you removed the
OnlyFans stuff.
Oh,
Eric,
maybe.
I'm assuming you removed the political rants that you got on Twitch.
I removed and do not say it over here, even though it's on YouTube. I removed a certain like video series from Keemstar that we talked about. Do not say it over here.
I was gonna say drama alert.
No, don't say something. But if y'all want to see it, right? If y'all want to see it, it is the latest video on Twitch. It is unhinged. It is unhinged.
Wait, did you upload that to YouTube?
No, I took it out.
No, it's on Twitch.
I had to take it out, but it's over on Twitch. All right.
If you're on Twitch that night, that was hilarious.
That is a funny night. Gotham Knights, are we excited? And I want the chat to sort of chime in on this. Are we excited for Gotham Knights as a show? Because I have to say, they're trying really, really hard to make it look like this show is not what it originally was presented as, which is sort of like a Riverdale meets, DC property. Now it seems like they're trying to go more of like the dark and less humorous, more dramatic type feel. Do you think that's a good direction for them? I still believe, and this is something that I've talked with people on like Reddit and all over the place, that Gotham Knights is a 1-season show.
Yeah.
Well,
and the reason why I believe that is not based on the quality, because I feel like the show could have the best season ever. But I looked this week, and the CW numbers are not good even for their legacy shows, the things that are still on the air now. I mean, they're getting like less than, I think, 50% less than what they were.
I know Flash before. Live was just over $500,000. It was like, which is like less than what Legends used to get.
Yeah.
In its final season.
And it's not doing great. And the only show that's been greenlit so far is All American. So there we go. King Vader says, I'd rather see season 4 of Batwoman than Gotham Knights having a show. I mean, I agree with it. I liked Batwoman season 3. I think it was finally on the right path. It took a whole, third season to get there because the second season was sort of rebuilding everything. Lizzie goes, I haven't seen the new trailer. I do feel bad for Misha Collins, though, with how this show is being presented. Well, Paige, we talked about this. They're getting good reviews out of the Texas stream they did about a week ago.
I know some people that watched it.
But it's hard to tell. It's like, because really, I know Ben's here, but it's probably the best example ever. It's like if Ben gave that new Melissa Benoist show a 10 out of 10. Like, how we fucking know that's actually... Sorry. Oh, shit.
Fair enough.
I thought we were on Twitch.
Like if Paige reviewed...
We're 10 minutes in.
Even a Mel show. Heels?
Yes, Heels.
I watched Heels. I thought it was okay. I didn't watch all of it. I watched like half of the first season. It was okay. Yeah. God, it was a lot of nudity in that show. God, boobies.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know that.
Paige like.
So Lance is going to give it a fair shot. Nothing we can do about it now. Yeah, nothing we can do about it now.
Wait, Ben, I need to ask: does me eating chicken trigger you? Are you angry at the moment? If you didn't know, like Ben's a vegan.
Well, Ben probably thought it was just a bowl of vegetables.
Well, it has vegetables in it. So I have your little friend here, a little green friend. I'm going to eat your little green friend.
Yeah. Nice.
Wow. Archmage Phrase says, I think I prefer a second season of Naomi. Ooh. Yeah. So,
what about a second season of Inhumans?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm standing in line for that one now.
What would you prefer? Second season of Gotham Knights based on what you've seen, or second season of Inhumans?
Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
Is that just because Inhumans would have been set within the MCU, and that's what the
no Inhumans was just dreadfully boring.
It was a really bad show.
It was just really.
What would you rather, Gotham Knights showrunners or Scott Buck?
Gotham Knights showrunners.
Yes. Yeah. Paigey, did you ever watch Inhumans?
I didn't finish it. I think I watched the first. I want to say like 3 or 4 episodes.
Look, I am not a content, like I don't like the content police people. If they want something, they love something, whatever. But there were things about the Inhuman and the way the show was made that were just wrong. Like it was just wrong from the beginning. It wasn't even experimental for being experimental. It was literally like just the decisions that were made were wrong. And I don't know how Disney let that show slip through the cracks. Because it is like one of the worst. Like, if you did not like Iron Fist season 1, stay a million miles away from Inhumans, because it makes Iron Fist season 1 look like a masterpiece. It was just so bad. And the same showrunner did both shows. Yeah. Mecha Mike goes, the CW's not promoting their shows. That's why the ratings are dropping. Not only that, but Paigey pointed this out, and Ben, I don't know if you've noticed it or not, but you can't even get promos for their content outside of the United States. Like they block everything, trailers, all their trailers and everything on their official page are blocked. If you go to the CW YouTube, Ben, you probably can't see anything, or maybe one.
Are you serious?
Most likely.
Haven't you noticed that in your subscription box? You haven't seen any CW stuff.
Yeah,
go to the official CW page, and I bet you can't see a lot of stuff unless they're putting.
There's no videos.
Yep, exactly.
What?
Only North Americans get it.
They have locked their. They have geo-locked their trailers.
Okay, this is one thing. Like, if the CW is all about ratings,
but
and everything,
if you go,
why aren't they giving us access.
Well, Eric, you go there. You go to the CW YouTube page. Like, don't search it. Actually, go to their channel page.
Yeah.
And then screen share and look at the views. They're like,
have they gone down like so much?
They'd be like a quarter to a tenth of what normally a video would be.
Let's put. We could see with a VPN, right?
Yes. Yeah. You could. So this is what I get on the page when I go there. Look.
Oh my god, you can actually see. Wait, look, I'll screen share mine as a comparison.
Look, 180 views, 532 views. The Flash trailer, 1.8K views.
That is terrible.
No, the Flash trailer is 2.9, but even then, that's like a tenth of what it normally would be.
They used to get so many views.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, Ben, they took down the Flash.
Viewers.
They took down the Flash trailer from like the beginning that had like millions and millions and millions.
Well, no, is it gone now?
It's gone
because it's gone for you. Yeah.
It's gone completely. Yeah. Look. Nothing. They have geolocked everything to North America.
That is crazy. But that's just like a big complaint of mine. You know, they really, really make a big deal. Oh, you know, we want ratings. And we can't even provide ratings for your online freaking promos now. Like, how is that? I don't know. It just infuriates me. It's like,
because my opinion of it, because they made that, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but if you watch it live, they promote CW Sports. They're doing another sports thing. Like they've got the golf thing, but they're also looking into doing more sports. They actually had a little ad running in my market that said that they were they're looking for more sports. Okay. What is this? Ben, I have a feeling this is a tweet of yours because I see Caramel down here. So
what?
Look at this. Oh, what a beautiful look at this. Not a comparison, then proceeds to make a stupid one. And yes, West Allen is not in the same league as the other thing. Like your Caramel.
This is from 2017.
This is Ben versus the West Alleners. This is the origin of Ben pretending to like West Allen a lot, so he doesn't get attacked again by the West Alleners.
Is this you trying to give context?
Well, it's just me sort of showing. Also, it sort of shows how toxic they are as well, coming into a random ass tweet that doesn't even tag any of them. But anyway, enjoy that.
All right. So with that being said, let's talk.
What were you typing up? You typed my name and typed in West Allen.
No, it was in like. Someone linked it to me like a year ago in a chat. I don't know what it was about specifically. And then I was scrolling through and I saw it and I clicked on it. And I was like, oh, what the hell?
Okay, so this is the new Flash movie trailer. Hold on, let me just over there. Let me zoom in a little bit.
Is this the one with the cheeks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And the ankle bracelet.
I've seen the ankle bracelet meme. That's hilarious. Okay, so what are we thinking? I want the chat to chime in. Chat, please be very honest and vocal about this. What do you think about this trailer? It shows Ezra Miller as Barry Allen in the new Flash suit inside of the Bat Cave with a big, like, I guess, metal bat hood over this platform.
It's the Batwing, isn't it?
Is it? It just looks like a piece
Isn't it his Batwing? Isn't it the plane?
Is that the Batwing?
I mean, it looks like it.
It looks really flat on the bottom, though. It looks really flat. I'm sorry.
No, but I think that's just.
I think it's a modern day Batwing. You got to get.
Yeah,
you got to be aerodynamic, young DJ Erickson.
So
Eric,
what do we?
It's a shadow.
It could be. It could definitely be a shadow. What do we think of this as a poster compared to, like, say, the TV show posters that we've had? I mean,
this is a teaser poster.
Yeah,
it's meant to be like. It's not like the. I saw people saying, "Oh, this is a weird poster." I'm like, it's because it's a teaser one. It's not. Like, it doesn't have the names of the actors or anything like that because it's a teaser. Like, they'll probably release another poster after the trailer comes out.
Yeah. But I have to say, it's really nice to get a poster that's not just a bunch of heads, you know?
Yes, that's true.
No, well, that's the thing.
Really
Expect that next week. You're going to get floating head bonanza next week. Probably if they release another one.
We're probably going to get floating heads with a million things around them. Like the Batwing, the Bat
Do you think they don't want to show Ezra's face?
I reckon what they're going to do is they're going to have Ezra in the Flash suit in the middle.
Oh,
then you're going to have Michael Keaton as the second big, like Michael Keaton's Batman as the second big. You have Supergirl probably like hovering above or slightly above.
Was the belt not there before? Like I thought there was like a little thing around the waist. I didn't realize that was there was no belt. Was the belt not in the original suit? I thought for sure there was something around the waist, but maybe I'm remembering.
I can't remember, to be completely honest. I thought he always did, but anyway.
I will say this: it looks better with that breakup in the belt. I think a belt really makes the suit sort of pop for me.
Yeah.
Let me
also,
zoom in a
this
little
is
bit.
not Ezra. Like, this is just like they've drawn this. That is not him. Like, it's CGI. Even in the trailer,
one thing
when we saw this,
I know people don't like the cowl. The one thing I don't like is how the boots just aren't completely gold.
Right in the back, they've got like the red.
Or like if you want to add like elements of like red lining, fair enough. But I mean, feel on the back.
I think they're
Looks
just
like
too afraid to go like full color. You know, like if it's too comic booky.
But they got like about 10 volts of electricity running through all those lines. But they
I know,
put
right?
some extra gold on the boots.
No, in the chat, rate this poster from 1 to 10. This teaser poster.
I must agree with Defunct. It's not a little cheeky. It's quite cheeky.
Yeah, it's.
I'm saying butt cheeks. That's all I'm saying.
It's a lot of cheek.
It's
okay. So
there's more cheek here than the Weekly Cheekly, which was quite cheeky.
Yeah.
Before we get the trailer tomorrow, do you think, and I want both of your opinions on this, and I'm going to give my opinion as well. Do you think all of the drama surrounding Ezra has sort of blown over in the wake of all of this DC news? And I'm going to say this. I think a lot of what's going on with James Gunn and Ezra not being in the news recently has sort of, I don't want to say, obviously I don't forgive everything that's happened, and it's not even my place really to forgive them for what they've done. But I think a lot of the general public has forgotten about what's happened with Ezra because there's just so much other stuff coming out.
Well, by general public, who do you mean?
I mean non diehard fans, like the people.
But I think even out there, so. I think most of the general public didn't even know to begin with.
Well, that's what I mean. But do you think that? So you're saying that you don't think that this was ever going to affect?
No.
Anyway?
Once again, I think it's one of those Twitter things. I think it's an online Twitter thing. Okay. That's the thing. And I reckon if you put up a poll, I think we've done it here before. It's like, are you going to see the Flash movie? It'd be like 60% no. But once again, there's a lot of virtue signaling and fake stuff online. But
this is another one of those times where somebody could be like, I'm not going to see it, and then they still go and see it.
I mean, we've literally got
no accountability for it.
We've literally had it over the past week with a certain video game.
Yeah.
But how much, okay, when the film's released, do you actually think it's going to make like a bunch of money?
I think it's a potential $1 billion film. It doesn't mean it will. Yeah, me and Eric disagree on this, but I think it's anywhere from 800 million upwards to $1 billion.
I think it's more between 5 and 7.
I agree with you. 5 and 7. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So.
I don't know.
But I mean, I would love it to make a lot of money.
I will say that 5 and 7 now, but we have to see what the reception is after that first weekend, because it seems like everyone who has seen like the closest to the final cut of this movie is very happy with the film. And I think James Gunn, maybe it's not, I don't want to misquote him, but somebody has said that this is probably one of the best superhero movies they've ever seen. I think it was James Gunn that said that.
I think it was James. Yeah.
This to me is the DC equivalent to the No Way Home movie with Spider-Man. It just depends on how they advertise it, because we're seeing a lot of nostalgia in this film.
Yeah, I feel like it could be, but they haven't advertised it as hard as like No Way Home. I remember when they were doing the promos and stuff, there was like so much. Mm-hmm. So I feel like with this, we got our first teaser in October 2021. Yeah. Like that was the last time we have footage. So I think it really is all down to this first one. Can we get the hype out?
And what is this trailer going to look like tomorrow? I'm so excited to see what this trailer.
And how long is it going to be? Do we know?
I think it's yeah, Paige, go ahead.
I think it's locked in at between 2.5 minutes online. But the one that's going to appear on the Super Bowl is only going to be like a ad spot. So there's going to be a shorter one. It's very similar to Doctor Strange last year. I mean, Doctor Strange had a shorter one at the Super Bowl on TV, and then online they released I think it was like 45 seconds longer. But even then, apparently it's 2 minutes or something.
How many people in the chat are just not going to see this movie? Because I'm just curious. I know we've talked about this before. There's no accountability. So this is just a general question. How many people in the chat are not going to see this movie opening weekend simply because of Ezra? I'm just very curious to what the chat thinks about that.
Justin says yes.
I'm curious what people think. I really am. Because I'll be honest, it's not my place to forgive Ezra, but everything that happened was so sketchy, and I really wish there was more accountability. I would feel better about promoting and supporting the film in a big way if there was some sort of accountability happening, but it just doesn't seem like that was real. It seems like it was all performative, but the studio set those things in motion because of this. I also want to say, I think James Gunn's movie slate and what he said about this film and every film this year is going to benefit from what James Gunn talked about. Because he got everybody sort of excited about, or most people, I won't say everybody, because there's a certain section of the community that was not excited about the movie slate. But he got a lot of people excited, especially the general public, about the direction of DC, even though we're going to have a gap between 2023 and 2025. We'll have to wait and see. We're going to be watching the trailer tomorrow. I hope the trailer is very exciting. I hope it's a lot more new footage, because we've been looking at the same clips, like Ben said, for 2 years. Like, I want to see something. Give me something new, any little bit you can, so I can see what else we're going to be getting in this movie, because it's right around the corner, and I feel like promotion time needs to start right now. Which is why this trailer, I hope, sets off like a sort of a avalanche of promotion for the film if they want it to succeed. Ben, have you already locked this in for like a premiere date, or are you going to see this, or
Wait, The Flash?
Yeah.
Well, they haven't planned anything yet because it doesn't come out till June, so they've already locked something in May.
Yeah.
And then I'll know. But obviously, in the meantime, we have Shazam next, right? So
yes, yeah,
that first, and then
I have to ask this, Ben, because I think anyone that's online notices it.
What?
At the UK things, you know how you go to get to see the movie like 2 weeks early or something?
Mm-hmm.
Is the bar incredibly low because the rest of the people that go with you are fucking randoms? Like, oh shit, sorry for swearing again. But then those random people ever, like, they have like, it's not a flex and stuff, but like, usually when you get to this stuff, you have a following. So I'm curious, like, is the entry bar like really minimum, or is it just like if you know someone?
So basically, for say DC films, they have various screenings. So first off, they'll have a very exclusive early screening. So like, I don't know, for instance, we saw the Batman like very early. Like we saw it, I don't know, like a month before the film came out. But then they show it to like the kind of bigger press, like, I don't know, The Guardian, whoever. And then at the end, that's when the bar drops, because they have this big multimedia screenings, what they call it. And they invite.
Well, yeah, I go to the multimedia screen because they're the first ones they have in Australia. It's like that's like what a big classifies.
They're the events where you don't need to have the most amount of following, and then a lot of people can go there because they invite like random celebrities from like The Only Way to Essex and just like random shit.
Well, no, but that's what I'm asking you, because
like
I see
a reality show. Like
no, yeah, like no, but they want the
celebrity
to post on their Instagram and stuff. That's
it's like
it's
like a
that
last.
makes sense.
It's a last,
okay, never mind. Yeah, that
like,
makes sense. That makes sense.
Advertising. Well, I'm more talking about the people that you would go with, because I've seen like they have like 300 followers on Twitter.
Well, normally if I go,
so that's why I'm wondering, is it like a who you know sort of situation?
Well, there's only a select amount of DC people, and so they invite the DC people that do strictly DC content first, because we cover it and there's DC fans, and then they will obviously, like, maybe in the same week they'll invite big press like The Guardian and whoever.
Geeks and Gamers, yeah.
Geeks and Gamers and everything. Eric's Reloaded.
No, they don't invite me. The only movie I've ever been invited to from DC was the first Shazam movie. That was it. It's the only one.
You gotta ask them again, Eric.
Yeah.
Contact those New York people.
Yeah. Over here, it's a lot harder than it is other places.
I know.
Because there's such a big pool of people that are trying to get in.
It's hard. It's for some reason, Australia, it's harder. I think it's mainly because we just do minimal stuff, but also there's like
because you're in the middle of nowhere.
And they always confuse me for Supergirl TV writers. So
you're in
Batwoman TV. Eric Johnston. What was it? Eric Johnston or something?
Yeah, it was Eric Johnston. Yeah.
Supergirl TV.
Comic-Con 2019.
19.
19 inside joke.
Yeah.
Where Ben wore the same shirt 3 days in a row. Was
wow. Okay. Well,
stink boy.
Get over it.
Yeah.
Stinky.
Best thing that's ever happened to him in his life. Meeting.
Yeah, what? Smelling this 3-day-old shirt. Okay.
All right, we have something from Eric Wallace here about the Flash here. It says we're talking about the movie versus Grant, or Ezra Miller versus Grant Gustin. I do believe there's a world for all things Flash, Elseworlds, TV, movie, whatever. I just love the character so much. Grant will always be the Flash for a certain generation in the same way that for my generation, Christopher Reeve was Superman. That doesn't mean I'm not excited to see Michael B. Jordan play a black Superman. I can't wait for that or for the other Supermans like Henry Cavill or Brandon Routh. I love them all, but I grew up with Christopher Reeve. So there's a whole group of folks who are going to grow up saying Grant was my Flash, but there'll be a new generation of folks saying Ezra Miller, they are my Flash too. What do we think about this quote?
I don't think Ezra is going to be the Flash.
Wow.
No, he's just not as good as Grant, you know? Like, I know that's obviously I'm biased, but I feel like Grant's made a big... I mean, he's been doing it for 9 years. He's got a big leg up, right?
Well, yeah, like, but it also depends. I've always said this. Like, I'm I think most people are Team Grant, but I think it's also like Ezra has never been given the opportunity. Like, Ezra hasn't had.
Fair enough. And now he's been.
We got the most Ezra we got was in the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, which is Eric's favorite movie of all time.
I watched it 4
times.
Like 4 times too much. I have to ask this, Ben, because I know you gave it like a 10 out of 10 or 5 out of 5 or something.
Yeah. Wait. Did you give it a 10 out of 10?
He gave it 5 out of 5. Wow. And I'm very curious about the chat.
9 out of 10, you know.
I'm wondering, I think it's actually died down now, probably because James Gunn came in and just sort of like pooed on everyone else that was sort of like anti moving forward. But at the time, do you think it was probably one of the most overrated movies ever based off how people talked about it?
No.
Well, you're wrong. It's okay. Ben's wrong. We can move on, Eric. It's all good. Continue.
Yeah,
we've discussed this on Twitch. Eric agreed.
No, I don't agree. I think it's actually a good film.
So what was your favorite part?
Probably
move on. He can't name it. Let's
go. So here's my thoughts on this. We don't know what's going to happen with Ezra's Barry Allen. We have no idea. It's quite possible the movie is amazing and they sign on for like multiple films. That is possible. But there's also a chance that the movie doesn't do as well as the studio perceives it to do, and they go in a different direction. But it seems like James Gunn, in the quotes that he said and how he's talked about Ezra and how they're doing, makes it seem like it's leaning more towards Ezra will come back unless the movie fails.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think it's very open the way that James Gunn has teased it, because he said the Flash film is going to reset everything, right? And so he has the option. If the Flash film fails and everyone doesn't like what Ezra does, right? Because this is his, like you said, his time to shine, kind of. And so if it fails,
time to shine.
He can literally, he has no excuses. Like he can literally bring in anyone.
Exactly, but that's going to show, this is going to be the real determining factor on the faith of James Gunn, because if the movie comes out and it is a dud, and just completely falls out of the sky, there's no reason to keep Ezra at that point.
Yeah, of course.
But if James Gunn decides, hey, we're going to sign on Ezra for 5 more movies, people are going to be like, what can this person do for them to find, like, what does Ezra have on Warner Brothers? That's what people are going to say. So...
probably a plethora of things.
We'll
some leaked emails, leaked nudes.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna move on.
David Zaslav.
And
by the way, I found out why David Zaslav was at the Lakers game wearing the Warner Brothers Discovery hat. The game was on TNT, which is a Warner Brothers channel.
Property. Got it.
I was wondering, I was like, because he was sitting there next to John McEnroe of all people, with his like WBD hat on, everything flexing it, and I was like, "Is that freaking David Zaslav next to McEnroe?" And then Jay-Z's like a first. I'm like, anyway, but yeah, it's on TNT. So that's
we're gonna talk about the Flash premiere episode 9X01, season 9, episode 1, titled "Wednesday Ever After." And this episode was a repeating day trope that we've seen before. I think there was an error episode called Reset, which was a time loop episode, alternate reality with Quentin still alive. I don't remember all the details, but I think that's what it was. So my question for both of you and for the chat, was this episode as good or better than other time loop episodes? And my immediate answer is, I don't think it was awful, or whatever, but I don't think it was groundbreaking for me.
The Legends episode, did Supergirl ever do one?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, because the Legend one was better and the Arrow one was better than this one.
And we've had the one with Nora before, right?
Well, is that time loop because it was just her going back in time?
Rewinding time, right?
It's sort of time loop. It's like a repeating it. I guess maybe. I think I don't know. Was this episode better than that one? Because sure, that was in season 5, which was ours.
And so they kept on dying over and over, right?
Well, no, they had to stop just someone from dying, so you saw everyone die. I think the only person that didn't die in that episode was Iris. Funnily enough, I think in that episode. But it was like you saw Cecile, Frost, Caitlin, and was she Frost at the time? I can't remember. Like Ralph was there, and like everyone kept dying in different ways, and she couldn't figure out how to stop it.
I don't know.
I don't know. Was this episode better than that one? I think that was a good episode. I think it was one of the really good season 5 episodes. So this episode probably wasn't better than that.
Yeah, and I'm not saying this is not me saying it's a bad episode. I was just comparing the actual trope of the episode to other shows that have done it. And I just don't think it was quite as groundbreaking. Now we start out the episode with a scene where Team Flash is taking on Tar Pit. And I think that's her name, right? Tar Pit, isn't it? We've seen this character before.
I didn't hear it in the episode.
I believe it's Tar
Pit. It's because you have to open up a Flash comic book, Ben, and read it and then know who the character is.
I'm pretty sure it was Tar Pit.
Ben didn't. Ben said like Lava Boy or some crap.
Yeah.
Did you say
I
Lava
heard
Boy?
lava something in my ears. I was like, what?
Yeah, Chester said "Shut up, Lava Face" in the episode. Or something.
Yeah, but we've seen this character before, though, right? This is Tar Pit from the show. We've seen this character on the show before. Correct?
It's like
when the episode started, I thought it was that trash monster from Supergirl.
Well, I think it was that same location. I think it was that same area.
He was in season
or whatever,
2 or 3. I can't remember which one. I think it might have been season 2, but we had him there, and it turned into a big. But he was more like he was more like just like was like a rock almost.
Yeah, he looked different. This one looked better. This one looked better.
Well, that's the thing. He was more like a tar. Like he looked more like tar back then, if you want to call it. But this one, he was like a mixture of like.
And I saw people clowning on the VFX for this episode, but they were actually really good.
There was only one shot, which was like that intro shot, and there was like a skip or something there. I don't know if it was what I was watching or if it was in the actual episode, but that was the only bit where I went, oh, that looked a bit weird. But then as soon as I got down to the floor and everything, I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah, so we have them fighting Tar Pit, and right away it's a little bit off because we see Killer Frost there, and you should know that's
the giveaway, right?
It's only been a week since the previous finale in the Flash time.
Well, it was that, and also that everyone just sort of like popped up out of thin air.
That's true.
That was awesome.
Also in that
we
scene,
do have that happen.
Everyone
later,
had one-liners, and it was kind of cringe.
Oh yeah.
Right.
It was a bit cringe. I think what made it cringe because I think as soon as when Chester came in and said the lava face thing, I know, okay, whatever, we'll let that pass. And he probably usually wouldn't be out on the field. But then when Cecile came in and was levitating and everything, I was like,
stop it.
Just cut
was
it
a
down.
no? Is that a no?
I was glad everyone started dying. I was glad everyone started dying around there.
So anyway, but we have that, and then I went back and watched this episode again, and we find out obviously it's not real; it's a nightmare. But we start out the season with Barry in a place where we've seen him before. And let me explain this. And we talked about this briefly, I think, on Pagey's stream, but I didn't really dive too far into it. But Barry Allen doubting himself, not feeling like a good leader. Feeling as if he can't save everyone, second guessing his decisions. These are all things that we've dealt with before, and I was very disappointed that we started out the season again in that same place less than a week after he just got all of his hope back again.
But
it's only been a week.
I think that's the thing. I think this episode was. I don't know if it was. I've seen people say it's like it was an episode to like fully prop up Iris and everything, but I don't think it's because it's not like Iris finishes on like the top of the world in this episode. Like, I'm on this pedestal now. I think it was more just to give like the shippers and everything those scenes because I just have a feeling it's just going to be very much like that season 6 episode where it was a very West Allen heavy episode. Wasn't as heavy as this one, but it was fairly heavy, and then there was like nothing for the rest of the season. For the most part. So I wonder if like in regards to like them spending a lot of time together, because the thing is they can't have Iris attached at the hip with Barry and then she's standing there like this, because then we're back to season 4, 3, 5, beginning of 6 and stuff like that. If you screenshot that, Ben, later, I'm going to kill you.
I go back.
But yeah, we can't go back to that because that's like reverse Iris. That's like reversing, and that's not good, like reverse Flash, but like reversing back in progression and stuff like that. But I don't know. You just with Eric Wallace, it's a flip of the coin. You don't know
felt
what
like
he's
this was a step back for the character. We had a comment here from
for Barry.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had a comment here from Silent Angel, and he says, he thought he killed Iris. But look, did we forget how last season ended? Last season, Iris came back and gave Barry back his hope and his love and all. Like, that was the point of her coming back at the end of the season to defeat Welzebard. So the fact that we're less than a week after that and he's back to, I can't do anything. I can't save anybody. I'm like, that doesn't make sense narratively. If it had been a year, I could see it. But 1 week? 1 week.
You wanted to cue bare naked ladies, or is that just you just repeating the same phrase?
No, it's just like I'm baffled at why they went this direction. It doesn't make any sense. And I was just so disappointed because, okay, let's move on and talk about Iris then, because we had some great stuff from Candace this week. It really was a solid week for her, coming back with a bang. I really enjoyed seeing her sort of take charge of her life in a big way. She refused to let Barry tell her what direction she should go in because of a map book. We'll talk about that in a moment. And for me, I kind of think her storyline was the MVP of the episode because she had a range of moments learning about the book and how she reacted to it, him spoiling the future for her, which, by the way, if you told me a bunch of shit, excuse me for the language, a bunch of stuff about my future that I didn't ask to hear, spoiling like your career and all this other stuff that you may not know about, and then telling you have to follow this because I've written it down in a book or whatever, it just felt really weird to me. It wasn't necessarily propping up Iris. It was just weird they put Barry in that decision, in that situation. So for me, I think Iris was the best character of the week.
Well, do you think that's setting up like Barry trying to control the future where it's not up to him to control what happens? And do you think that's going to be reflected once we get to the back half of the season with that storyline, potentially with Reverse Flash and everything that's going on? Do you think this is sort of like setting up that theme, or whatever you want to call it?
You mean of him being obsessed with like making sure?
Well, no, it's but it just wanting like almost like wanting a reassurance, but you just can't control it because it's so flexible. There's nothing set in stone.
By the way, am I lost here? And I want some clarification on this. The map book was just a book. It wasn't magical. It wasn't some kind of item, right?
It was a journal. It was just like. It was just like a bigger version, something like that.
Why did it look like a kid's book from school?
Because it was like a scrapbook. That's what it was, a scrapbook.
But that's weird. Why was he? I don't understand.
Because it wasn't some like artifact from a museum or something that was.
No, I know, but it felt very.
It wasn't the sports almanac from Back to the Future or something.
Why would Barry making that book to me is like why?
Well, the thing is that it doesn't really dive too much into they say some stuff that's not shown, and then you see some stuff. By the way, it has to be noted, going plant-based for Big Belly Burger in 2024, it'd be closed by 2025. What a stupid fucking business decision that would be. How many chains does it have?
It's the future.
It'd be gone.
No, and
in a big metropolitan city, be gone.
Look, I'm not arguing that he wouldn't make a book, everyone.
Trigger
I'm arguing that the book looked like something completely made for like this weird. So you remember like the Wall of Weird from Smallville? Like it looked very much like
made by your favorite character, Chloe, played by Alison Mack.
Yeah. I just felt the book was weird. The idea of him compiling things from the future do confuse me a bit, but the way the book was made was weird to me.
The thing is, I agree. At first, when I was watching, I was like, wow, this is like not like Barry, right? It doesn't seem right, or it didn't seem right to me.
Right.
But, however, Andy actually pointed something out. Obviously, Andy really liked the episode, but it's interesting because this is exactly a week after Iris has just finally come back, and he thinks he's scared about the future, right? And so I think it does kind of make sense that he did something.
I think it's something that makes some sense, but maybe they pushed it overboard.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not.
They made it extreme to make this episode happen, and it seemed like an extreme, like a bit of an out of character thing for Barry to do.
Yeah.
Based off a reaction, but they pushed the reaction from like a 5 out of 10 to like a 12 out of 10.
My issue from the perspective of when I was watching the episode is when Barry explained to Iris, like around the midway point, like why he was doing it, because he did give her sort of a explanation. I think I wrote down here what was said. His motivation to make the book in the first place, considering what just happened with Welzebard, and he says that he wanted to make sure that they followed like the path of the future, because those were things that have to happen. And that was his obsession with this book. And so he wanted to make sure she said yes to the things she's supposed to say yes to. And so he assumed that things were happening because the book was preventing things from, like, she can't do something that's not in the book. And he kept saying that. But that didn't make sense to me because no time before this season has anyone ever been locked into a decision.
And Barry knows that.
Right. And that's why Jay Garrick told him, don't run and look at the future. Like, that's all the way back in season 3. Like, don't go to the future. Don't look to the future. And here we are, season 9, and he's doing exactly the opposite.
But do you think he's not time traveling? Was he inferring he was speed thinking? Or, I don't know, like, how did he get this information?
I thought going into it that it was going to be based off the Still Force episode last year when, remember, he saw the stuff from the past, the present, and the future?
Yeah.
And he mentioned Max Mercury and stuff. That's what I thought it was going to be based off, but it sounds like he just... but maybe that got included, but he also said that, like, from his travels and stuff that he's been told and stuff like
in the past, yeah.
So it's like him thinking to himself, what
those timelines might have changed,
which is sort of stupid because he wouldn't need a
that.
map book anyway if he could think it. You know, if he remember, because he's remembering stuff that he might have been told X amount of years ago, or whatever it might be. So it's just like one of those things where it's like, does it have to be remembered? I just have to be written down. So I think the map, because the thing is, Barry can burn it all he wants. It's still up in his head. You have to remember it to write it down.
But not that was part of my reason for why did he make the book?
Yeah, I think it was just a physical thing, so Iris can see it. So Iris can see that he's gone over the top.
I also think it was for us. It was for the viewers. It was a visual representation.
I wish
for the
if they were going to I wish we saw more. We saw 2 pages, and the thing is, one of the shots from the trailer isn't in the episode. And then we see a bit where it says, like, I don't think it's in the episode at the very least, where it says that she opens Central City, the Coast City version.
Unless the book comes back. Do you think the book's going to come back at some point?
No, because it was in the bedroom. I think, we burnt it, so who's bringing it back? Like, jokes, it's not dead.
Well, I mean, it could, right? It could come back.
Calendar,
I thought maybe also Gideon had something to do with it. People were like, oh, no, Gideon was destroyed. I'm like, did you watch Armageddon? Like,
yeah, bruh.
Like,
wait, what? Wait, say that again.
I thought maybe some of the information was coming from Gideon, and people were saying Gideon was destroyed. And I'm like,
that
did
was
you watch Armageddon? It was...
But is Gideon still destroyed now? Did they even touch upon that?
Well, I don't think they did, but I think Gideon's back. Yeah.
Because that was in the Armageddon timeline that Barry then had to go back and fix Joe, which wouldn't mean none of that stuff happened.
Yeah. Darth Bunyan says, "Do you think the dreams are premonitions or a villain mentally dragging or chipping away at Barry?" I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that it's a villain of some type.
I don't know. Well, based off that episode, it just seems like it was just PTSD.
You think so?
Well, yeah, because I that's what it seems like.
I thought, to me, it seemed like there was, the way their eyes glowed and stuff, that there was something else going on there.
Well, it had like red lightning, but I don't know if that was
is Red Death.
I think it's just stuff from his past that he's thinking about.
I think it's just because the thing is that the ominous thing out there from the end of last season was that someone else is going to become the Avatar.
Yeah. Maybe it's right. I was going to say maybe it's a misdirect, like we're seeing the red lightning, and they're like,
Barry's just thinking that Barry's just thinking, well, I've got rid of Reverse Flash. But eventually, someone's going to be attached to that negative Speed Force. Yeah. But I think by the end of the season, he's going to be like, "Oh, it's just going to be Reverse Flash again." YOLO.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So we have a super chat from Luther G, a $49.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Luther, for supporting. I really do appreciate it. And they say, I kind of anticipated not liking the episode because I never understood what people see in Groundhog Day episodes. I agree with that. I think that they're overrated, but anyway. My favorite show of all time, Supernatural, did an episode like that, and I hated it. Seeing the same scene play over and over is very annoying to me. So I want to not only address this, but I want to go in. I talked with Paige about this a little bit. The episode for me didn't really get going until like the third act, because the first two acts that we had kind of just, it was the same stuff with different dialogue over and over and over again. And for a premiere to a show, I don't think that was the best thing to do, honestly.
It was a weird one to kick off with, because I think when people jump into a premiere, they want stuff that's sort of like new and exciting. Even though it is a final season, you sort of want it to feel like a bit of a refresh. But this was like the wrong type of refresh, you know, where you're refreshing the same day over and over and over again. I understand why Eric Wallace wanted to do something like this, but it should have been like 5 episodes. It should have been one of the interlude episodes. It should have been like 6 or 7. But I don't know. As I said, I just have that feeling. I think he's just doing this to give the West Allen stuff a lot of screen time, so then they can diverge into their own storylines and then meet up again at the end of the season.
I mean,
like
yeah,
they'll still interact, but they won't spend as much time together as they did in this episode. And I think that's why Eric Wallace did that.
Yeah, this is like probably going to be the most.
So I think he did it to sort of like, because we know I don't even know, is he still private on Twitter? Probably is. He did
Eric Wallace. Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I
follow him.
So well, I did, but then Travis Scott went, no, Later's old account. So now I'm not following Eric Wallace because he's still private. But I think that's why he's done that. If I just look at the outside in and just think of the thinking around it, it seems that way because, as I said in my review and stuff, and other places have talked about it, it feels like either just an interlude episode or something that might pose as like a mid-season premiere, not a season premiere.
I can see this as a mid-season episode 100%.
Yeah, it could be a mid-season. I have to say, personally, I really liked the episode. I had some stuff that I didn't like, but overall, it reminded me why I like watching The Flash. Like, I feel like it hasn't been on in such a long time, and it was at least nice to have it back. And there was
because this is like COVID. This is like when they stopped the COVID, and then they took that massive break. This is like the COVID one. And that felt like Flash was gone for ages.
Also, I want to point out, we'll talk about this later because there's a nitpick I have about later on in the episode, but seeing people around them, because we haven't seen that many people out on the streets and that many people around the set. The world felt alive again.
Last season I had some of it, but then again,
I don't know. This episode there was a lot of outdoor scenes.
But you got to remember, like the Deathstorm arc was very isolated in Star Labs for the most part, and if they did outside stuff, it was like in the forest or whatever it was.
That's true, but this time, like the first episode, seeing the city alive again felt very good to me. So I did appreciate.
I remember season 7 Ghost Town,
and I think fans are going to really appreciate this season. The fact that we already have so many announcements of all these characters showing up, and we haven't had that. Obviously, we did have Armageddon.
Well, what would you give the episode out of 10? And I think I know Eric's rating. I think he said a lot.
I gave it like an 8.
Okay, I gave it like a 7.5.
I gave it like a 7.5. I think in my review.
Yeah, because I'm fairly positive. Like my real only big negative I can think of is like the Cecile stuff.
Right, and we're going to talk about We're going to talk about the other premieres at the end of this. So I'm going to go through and read the synopsis, and we'll sort of talk about them.
Wait, what from the previous seasons?
Yeah, from seasons 1 through.
Ooh, are we going to rank them?
Yes,
this could be edgy. Yeah. This could get edgy.
It could be, yeah. Okay, so this was a heavy West Island episode. Let's talk about that briefly. So, Paige has a theory that
I don't know what this is.
No, that you said that the reason why they went so heavy in the beginning with West Island is because they're not going to have as much as we get throughout the season.
Well, I think there's not going to be like, because the thing is, if there's more like hanging by each other's wayside. As I said, you're going back in time. You're going back to season 4 and 5 where Iris is just like, Barry, hold my hand. Like, we're meant to believe that Iris is meant to be this big media conglomerate thing. Show us that.
Right.
Show us that. Because you can't take a step back in this season to appease the minority of the fan base.
Right.
But I think it was nice. I don't know about you guys, but seeing Barry go to Iris's work for once, like, I liked seeing them together.
Well, I think the only time we
went to the precinct. It was nice.
I think the only time we did it last season was when Iris was missing, I think.
I want to say something sort of controversial, I guess, for me, because a lot of people just assume that I hate relationship stuff. But I love the way it was done in this episode. I think
they felt like
a real
they
couple.
Felt like a well, you know what they felt like a couple in this episode. It didn't feel like honestly, a lot of the times it feels like they're friends with benefits. Like that's what it feels like. They like it's a constant Tinder hookup. That's what actually that's the way to word it. It feels like it's a constant.
They're going to come after you on that one, Paige.
But it is. Prove me wrong. It feels like it's a constant Tinder hookup. But this episode, it felt like they were a married couple. But you know what this episode sort of highlighted, which I completely had sort of forgotten. And I remember this was brought up like in 4 seasons ago, or maybe like 5 seasons ago, like season 4, season 5. They were never really a couple before they got married. They got married in season 4. They only started going out in season 3.
That's true.
I completely forgot about that. And I wonder if it was just because they needed that wedding to happen in the crossover. I wonder if they really wanted them to get married.
Did they kind of like fast forwarded the romance?
Yeah, because I completely forgot they only started going out in season 3. And by not even halfway through the amount of episodes of season 4, they're married. Sure, Nazis ruined the marriage, but they're still by the end of the crossover officially married. So I was like, that's true. They were a couple for a year and got married, and they didn't get to develop them as a couple. And they did the hack, and they did the arrow hack of having them that they grew up together, so that's how they know each other, which was already a bad way to start that relationship because people can't buy into it. So they didn't show them getting to be funsy little couples and stuff like that. All of a sudden they're married and they got to get onto their careers. So I completely forgot that they never really developed that properly. Like they already stuffed up the development from the beginning, but I completely forgot that they didn't even do the build up to the marriage properly.
Right.
Like, well, at least I've forgotten. Maybe I'm
pretty
sure I thought that at the time.
No, I was just gonna say generally this episode I thought whoever was the writer, was Eric Wallace the writer of this episode?
It was two. It was him and the what's his name? Butcher or something, or Butler.
Okay. Well, anyway, I thought they did a good job. Like you said, you believe that they're an actual couple now, which is a good thing. And I think in general, it
wasn't in my head that it was something. Well, it's fictional, Ben.
I know.
Just to stress, because Ben hasn't worded that this is a fictional show. It's not a documentary. Just for anyone that's wondering that, because Ben's worded these.
I really thought Grant could run that fast, but.
Oh, okay.
That explains a lot.
I thought you were talking about when he held his breath underwater and swam the lap of the pool. I thought you thought that might have been unbelievable. So,
I do want to point out Cho Senior, a Team Eric member, says they became alcoholics in the time loop, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, for real. I was like, I actually liked when Iris did that because I was like, okay, she's actually.
It felt real.
I'll tell you what, though, you can tell it was a flex because she was eating blueberries. Blueberries are expensive.
That's the thing. Money doesn't matter in a time loop.
I saw something saying like
that's true, Ben. That's a good point.
But I was also saying that they must be rich or something. It's like, but they've been living that since. They were married. Barry was the only one making money. So it mustn't be that expensive of a loft.
I also want to point out, somebody was talking about cinematography earlier. Yes, the episode looked a lot better from a cinematography standpoint. But if you go back, and I will tell people this, and I'm going to remind you, go back to like seasons 2 and 3 and look at some of the cinematography from those seasons. The Flash cinematography didn't sort of get weird until like 4, 5, 6. The earlier seasons, even with a different camera, were shot completely different than they were after Eric Wallace came on.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and this episode much better.
Yeah.
There was some stuff like that, but it sometimes comes down to I think like the time and if you've heard like I think it might have been Daniel Panabaker that talked about it because I was talking about like the directing experience and stuff like that she did an interview with, and it said like, you know, it's like sometimes they're given flexibility and they can do certain things. Like, do you remember the season or the season 6 finale? And the director, or I don't know if it was the director, or the editor, or Eric Wallace chose that weird when they did like the split screen. Like we're playing freaking Goldeneye or something like that. And they had 4 different fight scenes.
That was great. No, that was great.
Do you remember that, Ben?
Yeah,
slightly.
I don't know if anyone remembers, but they like the season 6 finale, because COVID finale, it was like we're playing Goldeneye or something like that, or same screen COD multiplayer. And I was like, I'm surprised people didn't die from that, just like their brain shaking around doing it. I don't know if anyone remembers that.
Amethyst, who's a Team Eric member for 36 months, says the episode was okay. I can see the reasoning.
Ooh,
I guess
Amethyst might get attacked by the West Helena.
Maybe.
I thought I was gonna be a #1 target after this.
I don't know.
Ben
maybe.
Have you
got
anything edgy to say, Ben, about this episode?
Yeah, anything edgy about West Helena before we move on?
Do I have to bring up the tweet again? Do I have to bring up the old tweet?
No. And just that I was extremely hyped when we got the Chegra kiss. We got 360 cameras.
That was the very next thing I was going to talk about. Was
360 cameras. I was screaming. It's actually on YouTube.
Like the thing is at this point I can't take anyone serious if they said they actually like Chegra.
But it was so entertaining. 360 camera, like literally from every angle.
What would you prefer, 360 Chegra kiss or 360 no scope to the skull?
360 Chegra.
After watching the Chegra scene, I'm considering the latter, to be completely honest.
Nah.
By the way, do I have to say that remember the ban I got on Twitter for the 12-hour ban for my reply to Ben? Remember I told you to jump off a cliff?
Yeah, something like that.
When did you get that?
So I told Ben
he was
politely. I told Ben wrote yes, Chegra happened, and I went Ben politely jump off a cliff, jump in front of a train. Fall off a very tall ladder. I didn't get banned. I could still read through, but I couldn't retweet for 12 hours.
He couldn't even DM from his desktop.
Yeah, the ban happened at like 3 p.m. or something like that. So it would have been over by 3 a.m. So when I woke up the next morning,
the problem.
But I was wondering, Who reported me? Someone reported me.
Yeah, somebody
and I
had
got
to
a
report
message
you.
saying,
Oh,
it was asking me.
Ben reported
Did you report? No, Ben wouldn't have reported. If it was you're a dickhead.
I'll share my screen. Hold on.
But
I took a screenshot.
If you're serious that you reported me, you're an idiot. But
Eric, show it.
And what was the thing? I got the
hold on.
email somewhere. You're an idiot.
Oh,
I'm joking. Wow. Look, it's your old account.
Oh, it's my old one. It's my old one. But then why do you have a screenshot from my old account?
No, it's on Twitter. I typed in Paige West Allen and I found it.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that profile picture is from like 2018 or something. Yeah, that's when I was in America.
That would have been really funny if it was him.
But I got a message saying that I need to call help services because I was considering self-harm. And I was like, then why did I get banned? I can't tweet out for help then. Why did I get the 12-hour ban?
Yeah, that's weird.
Twitter logic.
All right,
but it probably was the West Allen.
Be careful about
I know they stalk my account because they're okay. Weird, but, yeah.
Well, here we go. We got a super chat from Jay Birch before we dive into this Chegra love. I want to get everybody's opinion on that. Jay with the 49 super chat says, I don't get the Iris hate for this episode. I thought she was very reasonable. People saying Candace acting was bad. It was some of her best.
Who said that?
I don't know who said that. This was probably some of the best acting we've had from Candace, and I think it was one of the best Iris episodes we've had. So I don't know why anyone would say that. I think it's very interesting.
Well,
go ahead, Paige. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, like, look, we as a society, as a people, as humanity in general, it's okay to accept that Iris was absolutely ass and dog shit in season 4 and most of season 5.
Wow.
If you have to accept that. Candace has said that. Candace has pretty much said, yeah, it was fucking shit. Like, she's said that. But now Iris has developed so well. Ironically, with Eric Wallace, he probably cops the most from the West Alleners. If we're thinking about it, but he's actually developed Iris pretty well. If it wasn't for Eric Wallace, Iris would still be probably like holding Barry's back.
I want to say this though, like I love the direction that they're taking her in this first episode, but we have been catfished so many times.
Yeah,
when it comes to Iris's storyline.
But that's the thing.
I want them to commit this season. Commit to the CCC media storyline.
That's the thing. I don't know
how all the way to the end.
That's the thing. I don't know how much they can commit to that because that commitment means screen time, and I don't know how much screen time they can give it
as well.
I don't know how much screen time they can give that while also trying to do a Flash final season.
I got to bring up.
I know the Flash has the supporting characters.
Ben
and stuff,
is excited. What are you?
But I don't know how much screen time you can commit to that. That will then make people go, "Oh, what the hell? Why are you wasting screen time on this?" But then some people will complain at the same time as well. Why didn't you do anything with Iris? So it's like that. Like, how do you balance it?
Yeah, but to do with Iris, I'm wondering. Okay, Nia's going to show up, and they have the story together. We got a Cat Grant reference this episode. Do you think Nia's there on assignment from Cat Grant? That could be an excuse or something, right? Because she works for Cat. So
what episode is it? I think we know it's not episode 6. So it's 7
we know
or 8.
the story is heavily linked with Nia and Iris.
That's true.
They're doing
that is true.
Journalism,
and it sounds like it's outside of Central City.
Yes,
by the description of whatever it was. Well, it might be Candace going. Well, not Candace. What's her name? Iris going to National City. Metropolis, National City, or is it going to Coast City? Because that's where she was going to open up the thing. Mm-hmm. And maybe Nia is someone that
I would say they could come up with a reason why Nia is in.
Well, I was going to say maybe Nia is someone. Maybe Nia is who's going to lead up the Coast City branch.
Yeah.
Could be. Because they said in the thing that they were firing people, so they're going to buy it up, and it's a way to keep Nia relevant in the Arrowverse in the story, and I guess connected to these characters even after it ends. So it's like that's when Nia moves on and improves because she becomes like the editor. Maybe the EIC over at the Coast City place.
And Paige, I want to even add on to that. The reason why I think that makes a lot of sense is a lot of the indoor sets for Supergirl are gone.
Yeah.
So they would not be.
You couldn't build Catco again. That was a massive set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So probably not it makes more sense for national. It'd be more sense for them to go to Coast City, to be honest.
They're going to go to that place where everything just disappeared. Oh no, that was to look for that mother or whatever it was, or the daughter, whatever it was. Yeah.
Yes. Phantom Girl.
But everyone disappeared except for the woman. It's like, why is she still here?
Jay Birch with another super chat, 199 super chat. People said Candace looked tired and annoying. Like I don't.
What
how
are
can
they
you look
thinking about?
annoying?
They just hate on her.
Annoyed, looked annoyed, or looked annoying? How can you look annoying?
Oh, we had another super chat here from Jay. Sorry, Jay, I didn't see this one. A 49er super chat. Barry and Iris were together for a few weeks, and then in season 3 mid-season finale, they got moved in, and then 314 is when he proposed. Wow, that was very quick.
So how rushed is that? And they didn't do anything.
Yeah, but Barry had a crush on her for a long time as well.
Yeah, well then enjoy some like non-legally binded fun then. Jesus Christ.
Maybe
Barry.
that's Barry's definition of fun.
And it's pretty clear they're not overly religious either. So it's not like oh, and it's not like Iris is probably Googling someone else. It's like, hey, lock it up. It's like, hey, you're probably meant for each other, so there's no rush.
Yeah. Anyway, I think Candace did a great job as Iris in this episode, and I'm curious to see how they're gonna do this story throughout the season. Chegra kiss. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Look, I'm gonna say thumbs up for me because I'm just ready for them to move on with this. Like,
I want a Chegra wedding. That's when I'm gonna be happy.
Wow. We were just talking about moving quick. And
well,
you want a Chegra wedding, and
that's interesting, Ben. You want a Chegra wedding. Eric wants a Chegra car crash. So it's quite interesting the difference.
You want a Chegra 360 no scope, Pagey?
Oh
no, because that's too elaborate. I think I deserve that.
Oh yeah. Just Red Death versus Chegra then.
Well, what if they're the two that die for Red Death? Red Death has to kill. That's the thing. Red Death has to kill. I thought the intro thing for Red Death was going to be Red Death killing someone.
I don't think do
the writers understand the words killer and death? Do they not understand that those?
I don't think they didn't kill anyone from Team Flash.
Here's the thing. I am so worried that Eric Wallace is going to make Red Death sympathetic and not a natural villain.
Yeah.
And the main reason for that is because it's Ryan Wilder, and by the sounds of it, through his interviews, it's the reverse Flashpoint Ryan Wilder.
Yes. Yeah.
Who has a relationship with Iris.
It's the 10-year-old Orion.
I'm really concerned. I'm really concerned now. Before I was keen to see what was going to happen there. After hearing that interview or that answer from him, where it sounds like he confirms it without confirming it, because why would there be a relationship with Iris there? It's a bit worrying that he's not going to make Red Death actually a villain, because that's the thing that Eric Wallace has struggled with the villains, is making them evil.
And
unless they were already set up to be evil.
This Red Death Ryan a reason for hating Barry, and what more reason would you hate Barry than coming and like screwing up your entire world, which is basically what happened in that time.
Yeah. So Paige, did you forget? No, I remember that. But the thing is that they made the Ronnie side of that sympathetic, and they just made it this alien force. This is still meant to be a version of Ryan Wilder. That wasn't Ronnie. They
Eric
made that
Wallace
clear
said this
throughout
has
the story.
Nothing to do with any dark, metal storyline, dark multiverse storyline. He said it is literally nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
So this goes back to me saying that if we ever got Red Death, chances are it was going to be nothing like the comic book Red Death.
Well, that's the thing. I have no issue with it being Ryan Wilder. In the context of the Arrowverse, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But don't do this stupid thing with relationships. Just make this person a villain. They're meant to be crazy. They're meant to be power driven.
Mysterious.
Do that.
Dark villain.
Well, not even the mysterious thing. It's pretty clear who it is. Bat symbol. Hello. But just make them evil. They're called Red Death. It's not called Red Cuddles. It's Red Death. Make him kill someone. Make him kill a lot of people.
We need a scene like that iconic Zoom scene. You remember when he
something like
Barry?
That. But even more, you expect it to be like heads chopped off with lightning and
I think even though we want them to kill someone from maybe Team Flash, that would be the ultimate thing, right? They're not going to do that. In the past, they would have done that. They would have killed off Allegra, or they would have killed off Chester or someone to up the stakes.
Here's the thing. Are you ready for this? Eric Wallace has said nobody dies this season.
No, exactly. Yeah. He's confirmed.
Look, I don't care too much, but I didn't really think going into a final season they'd kill someone off on Team Flash.
I know, but should.
Really, if Red Death comes in and actually doesn't do some proper deathing, aka making people dead and being a bringer of death,
kill a rogue
and being
or
red,
something. Kill one of the rogues, like someone. That...
Maybe she does, but I don't. Barry's killed more people than that. We got to call him Red Death. He might be Red Death more than Red Death.
At the end of episode 5, they're going to be like, "Well, do you want to work at the city? I've got some contacts in the city. You can go work there." So
I bet you this is what I think is going to happen. They're going to take her down. Or here's the thing: actually, this is probably my theory. I wonder if this is actually what's going to be right. She's on a time restraint until her timeline disappears and she disappears.
Which is
Very
why
similar.
she's there looking for that particle accelerating.
She wants a time machine.
But you know what the issue with that is? That's literally repeating what Reverse Flash went through at the end of Armageddon.
Wait a minute.
What?
She wants to recreate her timeline.
Yeah.
That's
and that's why she needs the time machine to go back to the point where the timeline.
She wants to make it so that she goes back to the timeline where Welzabard was the Flash and Barry was the Reverse Flash, and that was her world.
Something like that.
Maybe
it doesn't have to be specifically or anything.
No, but she wants to try and get it as close to that as possible.
Yeah.
Because so you were saying Red Death is the Batwoman from Armageddon?
Reverse Flashpoint.
Yeah. Yes. The one from 10 years in the future.
Because
they introduced her in there and we never got anything else from it. This would be the perfect jump off for that. Barry came in, he changed that timeline. She was with Sophie. She had a great life. She was friends with
How did she become a Peter?
Well, I think someone said that Eric Wallace said that in another interview that he confirmed it's Batwoman mixed with an evil speedster, but he wouldn't say who the evil speedster was.
Right.
But the thing is, I'm hoping that in the next 1 to 2 episodes, they sort of explain that. But I have a feeling we're probably going to have to wait till that 2-part finale for the Mask of the Red Death thing.
So here's the issue, though. We have already been told on The Flash. And my theory has always been that timelines exist forever, right? They don't change.
They're just alongside each other.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's the timeline, right? This is the timeline in our Barry. They're together. When Barry changes time, this happens.
Chapstick to me.
So this timeline still exists, but our Barry is in the next
timeline. You could just make it like just something like it's that, and then it splits off and they they go their separate.
But that would make perfect sense to why she wants to do what she wants to do. On her world, things are jacked up because Barry came over there and changed a bunch of stuff and then left.
He went back. He went away. Eobard. He traveled back, remember, with Barry.
Mm-hmm.
Barry was in his Reverse Flash suit, then it all of a sudden appears there. But then Eobard's there as Reverse Flash in that timeline. He remembers everything that happened in Reverse Flashpoint. Yeah. So that means he's gone. He's just not there anymore.
Yeah. So what other speedster is there?
It could be artificial speed.
The only issue is that in the Reverse Flashpoint timeline, they say Lady in Red. And what was it? Ryan Wilder gives Iris the gun.
Wait a minute. They still have a Star Labs and everything on that Earth. She could have found out a way to recreate the way.
And we don't know what the other context of the evil speedsters are. We don't know if there's a Zoom in Reverse Flashpoint, a Saboteur in Reverse Flashpoint.
There could be a Mina Darwin over there, and she had that.
Or just that that general technology or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I said, I don't really care what the solution is. My worry is that there's not going to be Red Death is at the end of the day is not going to be a villain. You're not going to get the Zoom treatment where he gets probably the most awful thing ever.
Red Death
he doesn't
is
just die, he becomes Black Flash.
Red Death is going to be sort of a anti-hero, like a person
that's what worries me. Someone called Red Death is going to be seen as a sympathetic and anti-hero level character.
And when do we think we're going to be done with Red Death? Episode
5.
5 by the sounds of it.
Yeah. Okay. That's the end of the first graphic novel, just like Armageddon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So wow.
So bookmark this for will our worries play out?
Yeah.
But also, is that long enough? I really think.
I think it's long enough. I think it's 5 episodes. Because I thought Red Death was probably going to appear in episode 3. But now, and we know that I guess they're going to play a part in episode 2 at some point. And if the focus is there, it's more than enough time. My issue is if we spend half an episode watching Cecile be Tom Brady again.
Okay.
Another episode.
Speaking of that, I do want to bring that up. That's another part of my notes here. Is Cecile gets new powers again. This is the 3rd different set of powers that Cecile has had that she has to be trained on, and it's in the final season. And Jesse is setting up leaving and going away for the majority of the season. So now she has empathy. She had telepathy, and now she has telekinesis.
I think they're getting confused. They don't know.
There's no explanation for it.
No. If she got pregnant again, then maybe it would make sense, but she hasn't.
There's no explanation for it. I don't understand.
Maybe it's each year baby Jenna gets older, Cecile, or that age group. So it goes from baby to toddler to child. So maybe in like 10 years, when it's like teenage years, all of a sudden, like Cecile is just like
You
let's
forget
not-
that
Superwoman or
Cecile's
something.
the strongest meta in all
But
of
let's not
Central
also
City.
forget last season that she got a power boost from Top. If you remember that.
Yeah, but didn't that get taken away?
Well, it did, but I think they insinuated that power boost somehow gave her telekinesis, which wasn't even.
Oh, because
part
it
of
was within her for a certain amount of time. It stayed.
But
there in
telekinesis
some
isn't
degree.
even the Top's powers. Like, because remember,
Yeah.
Psych said
It's like it's
set all that up,
Vertigo,
I
isn't
guess.
it? Isn't that what she does? Vertigo.
Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird because like Cecile as a character, like okay, so first of all, good things. I think Cecile's going to be better once Joe is gone because it's been proven in the past that when Joe is not around, they write Cecile better.
But wouldn't it make sense to take Cecile with Joe because you have a kid together?
Yes, Ben, you are correct. Logically, you are correct.
But they don't want to tell
show.
Danielle Nicolette you can't be on the show because Jesse's not going to be on the show, even though that makes the most sense. It like this is probably part of the reason why Paige doesn't like Sue is because Sue being around without without Ralph doesn't make a lot of sense. So
it's not. It's going to be contrived as some sexist stuff. It's not that. It's just that the character was introduced to be alongside that specific character. If Ralph wasn't in the show, Sue does not exist on the show.
But I think it's even bigger with this because I
totally disagree, Lloyd. Totally disagree. Cecile, when Joe is around, she becomes a plot.
I think Lloyd.
She was.
I think Lloyd might be saying when Cecile is in a scene with Joe, she's there. And look, I don't know if you can really debate that. But when if Joe's currently on the show and Cecile's in a scene by herself with whoever it might be, no, it's still.
If you go back and you watch the season where Jesse hurt his back and they had to sort of change Cecile to make her like a amalgamation of Joe and Cecile,
she was better.
She was much better. When Joe is around, he fills a spot that Cecile doesn't fill, so she feels very forced because Joe exists in the show. So with Joe not being there, they will be forced to give Cecile more coherent storylines.
Also, they've forgotten that she is a lawyer, right? Like, what's her job? She doesn't do.
Wasn't she going to be a meta lawyer and then
meta lawyer? And then what about that?
There was that one episode where she had a problem reading people because of ethics, and then she spends the rest of the fucking.
Oh, and then she reads everyone's emotions.
Reading everyone without their permission.
I think that's the most annoying thing for me. It's like they've set up all of this. Oh, ethics, and then they just do whatever they want. And like Cecile is like, I think for them. I'm not sure if they're so into this story, but they set it up in the past and they can't get out of it. Like they have to continue.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, let's speed through the last bit of my notes here because I want to get into the ranking of the seasons. New Captain Boomerang, thumbs up, thumbs down. Do we like him? Do we not like him?
Yeah, it was good. I'm still triggered that we still haven't gotten a proper Australian Captain Boomerang, but what are we going to do? That's an American guy playing on Arrow, and look, this guy's meant to be American, immersive at the same time. Captain Boomerang, no accent inside.
Yeah.
Eric Wallace, I was standing right here. What are you doing?
VFX were good. I like the Captain Boomerang fight. I thought the Captain Boomerang fight VFX were really good. So what were you gonna say?
No,
you should get that cameo in the last season.
Yeah.
Well, Ben, believe me, Ben, your name's on a plaque in the Central City Police Department. He believed me and was scrolling through the episode. And Ben Rolfe, I can't find it.
Ben.
Oh, I wasn't.
Come on.
He believed me.
Now, there's been rumors that he's not coming back as Captain Boomerang. Is that true or false?
He's literally in a trailer in one of the season trailers, standing with the rest of the rogues.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah,
so
it's like Barry, like chained up. I think it's next episode. I think, based off the look, it's like it's in the warehouse. In the warehouse where he was at
with like a bunch of different rogues.
What do we think? What do we think of Barry being the head of the metahuman division in the police department?
I mean, it makes sense. And I think they're also, once again, it's laying this platform, then they can touch upon it again like 5 episodes, and then towards the end of the season where Barry's like leading
have a big impact.
Yeah,
I think it's like going to be a very, very minor storyline. Like I was surprised we haven't got Kramer. I didn't think we were going to get we might not. She was hardly in last season.
Yeah,
she was in like a handful of episodes.
There is a super chat and a Team Eric member chat. If you guys have any other stuff to talk about this episode, go ahead and super chat now. We're going to answer all of them in just a moment when we get to the end here. I love that again. Iris is doing the CCC media thing without the help of Catco totally. So I like that idea. There's some weird editing choices this week. We talked about characters like Paige, you were talking about the beginning of the episode where stuff kind of popped in and out, but then we had that stuff at the end where Iris just kind of popped up with the gun when they were fighting.
Yeah, it
Captain
must be.
Boomerang.
It must. I wonder if it's just an extended scene where, like, I don't know if Barry runs off and gets her, or like she's like just runs around the corner while Boomerang's distracted. But it's so it might have been a bit more extended, but it cuts off and she just pops out of nowhere as if she was like a mole on the ground.
No, but the other thing that was funny about that scene when I watched it the second time is you have Chester and Allegra at Star Labs talking to Barry on comms, right? Well, they're talking to him while he's fighting Captain Boomerang. And then when Iris shows up with the gun to shoot Captain Boomerang, she's like, Iris, what are you doing there? And I'm like, she's on comms. She's talking to you with earbud. Like, why would you not know?
Why would you not know she's there?
That didn't make any sense.
I thought, what about the editing choice when Barry runs off with a journal to Joe and Cecile's and it fades off?
Yeah.
That was like, I've never seen that, like, them do that before, but it was like interesting. It was sort of like Sam Raimi does that a lot, like sort of like fading in.
That was pretty cool.
That was Cecile's best scene as well. So
yeah.
What, the one at their house?
Yeah, because Joe's there.
Yeah. Well,
Also,
Joe was the goat in that scene. So
yeah.
With that particle accelerator about to explode, because obviously Captain Boomerang's not going back to jail. Barry decided to phase the explosion, and I will say, I felt this was one of those things where I'm gonna dial out,
suspend your disbelief and just enjoy it.
My one confusion with that was, okay, he phases it, sure, but why is the actual wave of matter going through people? Like,
exactly.
My issue with that scene was the acting of the extras. It was
the
extras.
They ruined the scene. I was like, whatever with the thing. I was like, okay, it's a comic book show. It's a guy that runs super fast doing it. Who cares? But some of the acting by the extras in that scene was horrible.
Yeah.
Go back if you didn't notice the first time, go watch it again. I was like,
yeah.
It
was also just delayed, and like there's two moments where people look directly at the camera.
I just think they did it really quick. Like they filmed it really fast and
well, it's one of those things where it's just like run around. And
does anybody want to explain this, Paige? You did it in your video, I think.
How did that solve the time loop?
Then you talk about it in your video, your review.
I can't remember what the.
Well, it wasn't the whole idea that they basically. They were stuck with this, in terms of like looking forward and trying to do the exact same thing. I don't know, something like that.
So how did anything change the time loop then?
No, I don't think anything should have, but I guess that's just.
Anybody in the chat have a theory about that? I'd love to hear.
Well, because there was no clear reason why things were happening.
We saw the bubbles.
We know where it starts. It's because Barry hits his lightning on the thing, which has like sort of like temporal particles in it. But how does it exploding? I mean, it exploded when Barry died. So shouldn't Barry just dies and continues?
So if Barry dies again, do they go back to that day? If that happens,
but maybe it was Barry phasing the actual particles over everyone. I don't know.
But once again, how does that stop the time loop?
Yeah.
God knows.
Also, if they just pulled an all-nighter, would they just end up in the next day anyway?
Yes.
Because it seemed like they had to go to sleep or die.
I'm thinking now. I can't think of an answer to this. Okay, so
I don't think there is one.
This is why I had an issue with the map book, right? Because the map book, the way Barry was talking about it, was some sort of metaphysical thing where it's like, you know what I mean? That it was
Ben's body.
But if the map book wasn't metaphysical, then burning it would mean nothing, right? So,
no, it's still in it's his head. It's not like that was like the thing. As I said, like I don't know. I don't know.
But Willis,
if it's because Iris said
yes, it still doesn't explain that. Though. That doesn't explain anything. The time loop shouldn't be fixed because the accelerator went off, and every other time that's happened, Barry has just popped back awake. So if they go to sleep, do they wake back up on February the 1st?
I think we're thinking too much logic. It's just not a thing with the Flash.
I mean, I'm just saying. All right.
Well, does this now take a point off your review score, Eric? Or
no, my score was already accounting for the fact there was unanswered questions.
Okay.
I'm just ignoring it. I have fun. I thought it was a fun episode.
So we had the final scene. Let's talk about that quickly as we wrap up this review, which is the one that shows Barry going, because we've already talked about the Red Death stuff. So Barry goes to talk to Caitlin or Frost, who is no longer either Caitlin or Frost. So
Barry thinks it's someone entirely new.
Do you think it's someone entirely new?
At first I didn't, but then Andy said something to me, and I feel like it is someone new. And
Well, there was an
Eric
interview where
Wallace
Eric
has inferred it's someone new.
Yes,
too.
so Eric Wallace's interview insinuates that it's not someone from the comics. So everybody was saying like Crystal Frost or whatever, or
they've said
Louise
that.
Lincoln. Like he's insinuating that it's not one of those characters. He wanted to do something completely different with her.
But they probably have a new name, though.
They do.
Right?
My issue is what he said, and I'm not going to pull up the quote. I am paraphrasing here. And I'm gonna save the articles for later in the week because we're already running late on time here. We might talk about one of them quickly, but Eric Wallace, matter of fact, I'll just talk about it now. So in an interview when he talked about her, he said that her introduction is going to matter at the end of the season. Like she's a very important reason why they're able to do whatever they do at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. So she's a chosen character, and I hate those storylines. I hate that. I hate when a character is introduced.
Character?
Like they're destined. They're destined to be.
I don't like the destiny.
And they're plot protected until a given point at the end of the season.
Okay.
So
they've done that a couple of times on the show.
It can be done well.
Iris in season 3.
There are times it can be done well, but generally it's not done well, and a lot of people complain about it because of the fact that it feels like
done well on the Flash. It hasn't been done well at all. With I think the 3 times they've done it.
So having a destiny character, a chosen character, or something like that that's introduced that we're told at the beginning is going to matter at the end means that there's no like what story are we going to be watching with her then? Just to find out about her?
I don't know. I think it's one of those ones where there's going to be interesting parts, and there's also going to be parts that like. Well, it depends how much she's shown as well, but you would assume that. I mean, if
Joey said in the chat that everyone, like Eric Wallace, has said no one's dying this season.
We already know that.
People are protected.
Yeah.
So. Well, no,
because that's the thing. This character could die because I do expect Caitlin to be who's there at the end of the season.
Okay.
Come the final scene of the series, it's Caitlin.
So she has a reason to be around until the
end. Yes. Yeah. That was the point we're getting at. But as far as no one dying, that doesn't bother me as much as knowing that a character is destined to be the key to everything. Mm-hmm. Why tell us the MacGuffin at the beginning of the season?
That could be Eric Wallace just very like overselling it.
Eric Wallace overselling something?
That never happens, does it? Like this could easily be Eric Wallace overselling it.
Yeah.
Because one, he might want to explain what he wants to say. But 2, he also has to like maybe look out for these certain moments, or keep updated and make sure you're following that storyline.
Yeah,
I'm very interested that she's not anyone from the comics. The only other person that people have brought up that she could be is that Keone or whatever it is,
the one that was introduced back in like season
5, which is like the Greek goddess that Killer Frost got her name from.
Oh yeah, the one that she was drawing pictures of.
And it's like meant to be like a version of that in Kate on.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Chillblaine Caitlin story this season because he's a recurring team member, so he's a regular.
The only thing is that in the trailer, it looks like she's like trying to waterbend or some crap like that. Like I'm wondering, do you think she's elemental? Do you think she has?
That's what I think because her hair's
got
like
stuff over. She's got stuff over various elements, so it's like the stuff with water, stuff with
touching the water, and like I'm pretty sure it's going to turn to.
She was like feeling it. Look, I don't know. Wasn't that her character from Sky High?
Oh my gosh, it was. It was. Yeah.
Are they just making her the character that she was in Sky High with like the nature stuff? Which was like Poison Ivy, but they're making her like all of Mother Nature, like very elemental.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe water and ice.
Toe Senior here with a $5 super chat and a Team Eric member. Didn't they say in this timeline that Red Death had the most kills of all in the
pre-crisis?
Pre-crisis. That's definitely
pre-crisis. Post-crisis, Eric Wallace wrote the character, so it changed.
And they actually called her Lady in Red, I believe, is what the
it was alluded to, and they didn't say that. They didn't say Red Death is Lady in Red, but in the reverse Flashpoint timeline, they said that. They said that Lady Red, but that's when I can't remember if it was Iris giving Batwoman the gun, or I think it was Batwoman giving Iris the gun. And in one of the trailers, you see Iris pull that gun out of a drawer.
Yeah.
For this season.
Mm-hmm.
God knows how it stayed in this timeline. I guess timeline protection.
Also,
specific
apparently,
apartment 4.
If you remember the Earth Prime comic, Andy was just pointing it out that Caitlin is back in the future. So if you consider that canon, you know Caitlin's coming
Which
back.
was in the. Oh yeah, no, that was the future. I was gonna say was it the Bart and Nora episode issue.
So Jay here with the 199 super chat goes, Iris expanding CCC media is the reason the loop broke. Is it though?
Well, doesn't that mean that Barry was right?
That would be awful. I don't want to be right about
because
that.
That's a weird thing, because that means it was Barry was right, but he was like, I don't know, like gaslit.
He was right about it, but wrong about it at the same time.
Right and wrong at the same time. Right, but the wrong method.
Yeah, I don't know about
that. But he was put through like some traumatic experience.
We also had a comment from Laura E, and she goes, "Do you think that Iris will get pregnant sooner?"
Later, probably. Like at the end of the season.
Well, the thing is that like you usually announce a pregnancy, like most couples won't announce a pregnancy. It's like after the first trimester or something like that,
3 months,
because that's when any most health complications happen.
Yeah.
And that would line up with the finale.
Yeah,
roughly.
I don't think it'll be any earlier than the finale.
I think the finale is going to be a baby shower. That's where all the people come back. That's what I think it's going to be.
Interesting.
And it's an easy way to have people come back for a baby shower, at least people that are important.
All right, so you guys can still keep leaving super chats and leaving comments. We'll try to answer some of them. We're going to stay live for just a few more minutes because we're going to go through and talk about each season and sort of give our ranking on it. I will go in depth about the Eric Wallace interviews over the next couple days, so we'll have more content there. Before we do that, though, let's talk about the synopsis for the next episode, which is Hear No Evil. And it says, Barry feels guilty for what happened to Caitlin, and Mark comes up with the plan, which makes everyone skeptical. That's the first line of it. Any theories with that?
Isn't it like self-explanatory?
I mean, I didn't know.
I think Mark's plan is putting it back in the pod or something like that.
Well, they have the pod in Star Labs, so
yeah. The second line says, meanwhile, Red Death looms in Central City and commands that failure is not an option. So does this mean are we going to get Red Death actually?
Wait, she's woke? What did you say, Ben?
I said to the rogues.
Oh,
she commands.
I thought you said. I thought she turned woke.
I didn't. That's what you said.
No, that's what Eric said.
Do you think that Red Death is going to interact with Flash in this episode or no?
I would say the rogues. Maybe the rogues allude to that they're working for someone, and then maybe at the end of the episode we said Red Death do something. But I think episode 3 might be where Red Death makes their presence fully known.
Joe asks Cecile to make a choice, which leads to Cecile thinking about the greater good. This is Joe leaving. This is obvious. Joe leaves Central City and Cecile stays.
But the thing is, he's in episode 4, but it sounds like he's not in episode 3.
Well, I mean, maybe he makes the decision to leave, but he doesn't actually leave yet.
So basically, what they're saying is, okay, Cecile's like, right, I have to make a decision. Do I go with my husband and my kid, or do I stay because I'm the strongest metahuman in all of Central City for the greater good?
That's what it is. It's
stay in Central City and protect Central City when there's so many.
And she doesn't have to be there. Like Cecile, like really no one. Like Barry's really the only proper hero there at the moment.
Yeah.
Like Cecile has powers, but we saw last season that Cecile's powers out in the field are sort of pointless. They're pretty arse, to be completely honest.
And why can't
that's why they're trying to develop that she can lift people and stuff
in their new town in Coast City or something.
Andy corrected you, Ben.
Who?
Joe and Cecile.
Well, what's the thing called? De factos. They're de factos.
Well, anyway,
is that what it is when you live together with a certain amount of years?
Ben's basically saying they're in a relationship and they have a kid together.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the important thing. They have a kid.
So you're calling Jenna a bastard?
What?
Look, I did not think we were going to get that deep, Ben. But you went there. You went there.
Hold on.
Look, it's common nowadays. Bastard used to be a bit of a slur. Now it's pretty common. There's a lot of bastards out there. You know,
in Australia.
Wow.
Honestly, rep it. I'm not a bastard, but I don't know. You know, there's rep it out there. There's a lot of them now.
Yeah. Anyway,
all right. So moving on, Allegra and Chester take a step in a new direction. Are we ready for more Chegg?
More
Rack?
Chegg.
That's more
Chegg
offensive
Rack.
than bastard, Eric. Move on. Just whatever you said there was much more offensive than
All right.
whatever we went over.
Well, but wait, before we move on, I hate that we're dedicating a portion of this episode to that. I feel like that's just like
I think it's just to fill out
Every
the
episode
synopsis.
this season, we're gonna have Chegg.
You got to remember, there's stuff in the synopsis sometimes which isn't even in the episode. That will probably be there because I think Eric Wallace is a fat hard on for Chegra, but it's probably going to be. Without more offensive than bastard, I'm not too sure. But I think
it's a very edgy stream.
Well, we're
today,
past
very
an hour and a
edgy.
half now. We're now into the edge section.
Oh, I know it's
Past
not going to
8
matter now, but still, it's a little like okay.
I can imagine 3 hours from now, I get a DM. Paige, you idiot!
I'll be like next week. The after party's on Twitch because I got banned again. After party will be on Twitch next week.
I can't believe you got banned. That was so funny.
I'll just say I'm glad that the ban was up before the next weekend because that would have been not good.
And he showed up in the same cosplay on my stream too.
Oh, he
was
trying to get you in trouble too. Okay,
I didn't get banned.
Oh,
Toe Senior says, "Paigey, are you drunk?"
No, just having a great time. Just that's.
All right, last line here says, lastly, old friends pay an unexpected visit to Star Labs. Any theories on those old friends?
Well, we know one of them is Pied Piper.
I think that's literally it. And it's like...
Well, it said friends.
Unless and the actor who plays Pied Piper actually said that there's going to be a new power introduced, by the way.
I think he's...
Is Goldface in this episode, or is this later?
I think he's in the next one. Or is it the Mask of the Red Death or whatever it is?
Or maybe Goldface shows up at the end of the episode.
Why are you so obsessed with Goldface, Ben? I need to get these questions answered.
Team Eric members in the chat, drop your Goldface emote.
Match.
Team Eric members, drop Goldface emotes now. Right now.
Breakfast.
Is it because you are under the false hope that Amunet Black might show up with Goldface? And you may get more bangers than that.
I stop watching the show.
Oh, edgy.
Look at all the Goldface emotes. Look at them popping up, Ben. You get excited when
Let's
you see
go.
Goldface pop up.
Daddy likes the metal.
No, don't make Daddy use his belt. Wasn't that the other one that he said? Was that what it's like? Don't make Daddy use his belt.
Here are the rails, and here's where we are now. Like this is like off the rails. All right, we have some super chats that we're going to answer. 3 of them, actually. The first one is from Silhouetted Animator. Good to see you in the chat with the $2 super chat. New Caitlyn equals Crystal, i.e. Crystal Frost. We talked about that. No. He said that it's not going to be someone from the... But here's the question. Do you think he could still use the name? Even if it's not Crystal Frost from the comics, do you think they'll use the name?
The concept of the character, but I don't think they're going to use the name.
Okay. So you're saying no. No Crystal Frost. Okay.
What about Crystal Meth?
Animated.
That'd be an interesting twist.
Would it? Staggervore with the $4.99 super chat. Do you think an episode Oliver appears in will be the episode where they encounter all of the rogue? No, that's way like the rogue stuff is going to be done when Red Death is done. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the stuff with Oliver, I think we'll see other characters from the Arrow. Well, maybe not just the Arrowverse, but from the Flash, but no rogues. I don't think. Except they've actually, I saw some fake Canada Graph photos up on Twitter earlier today where they showed Cisco out in the field with Kid Flash.
They were using like 6-year-old set photos that Canada Graph's got and said they're new, but it's got like it's got a worse watermark than what Canada Graph's usually has.
Wow,
like, it's even worse.
Wow. Wait, do we know what episode Nia's showing up in? Like 6,
7 or 8.
7 or 8, yeah.
6 is Hazard, Becky Sharp.
Ben, just calm down. You'll be able to put Supergirl in the thumbnail very soon.
Well, are you proud I didn't put Supergirl in the first thumbnail?
Oh, you didn't? You should have. There was a reference to Catco. There was a reference to Catco. I'm surprised.
Wait, are you talking about your episode 1 review?
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because you spoiled the new Frost and Red Death in the thumbnail. Anyways,
you did too.
No wonder you didn't put Supergirl on the thumbnail.
You did too.
I didn't.
You put the Red Death thing.
No, I put the blurry thing. Different. Didn't show what it was.
You did.
It was
in the circle.
Ben, don't even look. Honestly, don't even try. Like, what is the?
All right, I want to ask the chat. I want to ask the chat if a review goes up less than like 3 hours after an episode ends, should we put, as content creators, should we put spoilery things in the thumbnail as soon as the episode is over. Is that good or bad? I'm just curious. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. Chill out.
It sounds like you
out.
are. It sounds like look, Ben is triggered. He is not a happy chappy
the thing
today.
is, for me, all right. If I watch the shows and I don't want to get spoiled, I will not turn on YouTube or anything. Right.
So it's other people's responsibility. Is that what you're saying, Ben?
I don't know.
Okay, Ben, can we pose a challenge to you? If you lose, nudie run down the street. If you lose, you're not adhered to the challenge. Nudie run down the street. It gets uploaded to Twitter within 48 hours of failing the challenge. If this happens,
look, Kato says the Barry dies in Ben's video was which one? Which one of Ben's videos that says Barry?
Ben
dies?
technically had 4 spoilers: 2 in the thumbnail, 2 in the title. But so if you fail the challenge, Ben, nudie run down the street.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so in this week's
review, challenge? Oh, you're telling us now.
Okay, so in this week's review, you cannot in the thumbnail and or title put anything that has not been revealed in promo material. So that's usually the rules I
Ben's
go
like,
by.
I'm not doing that.
I'm just gonna do the run.
You're just gonna spoil it anyway. Okay, so he's admitting that he wants to do the nudie run.
Ben's like, look, it's my stuff. Like,
and the thing is,
leave me alone.
It's cold in England at the moment, so you're not gonna get a good.
Bro, you put
it's not gonna be flattering.
Come on, Ben, call him. You got to have some ammo here. Call him out.
Eric's okay, but Paigey,
yes,
in your
Benjamin.
circle, you have Red Death. That's a spoiler.
I have the blurry thing.
That's Red Death though.
Yeah, but I made it clear in my videos leading up to it that I thought Red Death was going to be at the end of episode 1. So it's aligning with my predictions. So in line with that, it is not a spoiler.
Preparing for this. Okay.
Yes, I have my rebuttal, as they say in France. So cop that one, Benjamin.
So Ben's like, I'm just going to run down the street because I'm just going to do what I want.
Just run down the street.
As I said, it's nudie run. No underpants, no long johns.
Oh, no.
No G-string, whatever they call it, jock strap, none of that.
The Silhouette Animator with a $2 super chat goes, I propose a leg runk as the new ship.
It sounds like some digestive disease.
That's really bad.
A leg
Ben,
runk.
are you going to make this work or is it still Chegra for you? Is it?
But then again, so does Chegra. Chegra sounds like something you get up to
Chalegra, someone said.
Chalegra? That actually sounds better.
But isn't Allegra like hay fever medication?
Yes, it is in America. Yes, it is.
Really? But I think Chegra sounds good because it sounds funny.
Chegra, I don't know. It sounds like
you're doing a. It sounds like a dance move. I don't know.
Like the chakra.
Yeah,
all right, isn't chakra like something like?
All right, so before we go, this is last call for super chats and questions. We are going to.
You're not going to show my picture I have down there.
Oh wait, I didn't see it. What is this here?
That's my new little moon calf. I call it on Hogwarts Legacy.
You know, your character actually does look like you.
Yeah, look at my fit as well. My threads. Honestly, I look like I would kill.
You know what I really love about this is this tells me that 100% Ben is definitely a wizard because this looks like something Ben would wear to a movie premiere.
Ooh, would you wear that, Ben? Would you wear that outfit to the Flash early screening?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Honestly, it looks a bit like
drip check.
Like it looked like Blade or something, but like Bush Blade, like out in the forest.
Maybe. All right, so we're gonna go through, and I'm gonna read about all of the premiere episodes for the Flash for every season to kind of give everybody a refresher before we rank the season premieres, because this is the last season premiere we're ever gonna get. So this is a scientifically accurate 100% ranking.
My Patronus is a dolphin. I don't know how that even works, but my Patronus is a dolphin.
Mine's exactly the same as Harry Potter. It's a stag. And
stag.
Gryffindor.
Well, I'm a Gryffindor, but stag's like basic bitch. So no.
There we go.
Okay.
So
you're not a Gryffindor, Ben. Get out of here. You are 100% Hufflepuff. Ben screams Hufflepuff. Don't even come. Eric is. I know he's giving Ravenclaw vibes, but Ben is 100% Hufflepuff. Don't come in here with this Gryffindor thing trying to rep that. You don't rep Gryffindor. You rep 100% Hufflepuff. Maybe a low-key Slytherin. Maybe a low-key Slytherin.
You're a Slytherin.
I am not a Slytherin. I am 100% Gryffindor. Wow. You can tell by that outfit. I'm rocking Gryffindor then. Don't come in here trying to be in my...
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh,
Definitely
no.
not.
What's going on with my tongue?
I don't know.
That's the face you did.
Wait, is that my no? That has to.
That is going to be all over Twitter later.
That wouldn't be my top lip, would it be?
Yeah.
No, it's my tongue. Okay.
Right.
Oh yeah, because it was when I was on the or whatever it was.
All right. So Flash
Yeah.
season 1, episode
Wait, no, but
1.
People in the chat, you got to back me up. No way, Ben is Gryffindor. He is 100% Hufflepuff.
The chat's going to decide on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So season 1, episode 1 is just titled Pilot. Do I have to go over this one, or does everybody remember the first episode of the Flash?
Remind me, Eric.
Barry Allen, a forensic crime scene assistant for Central City Police, is struck by lightning during a storm that created after a particle accelerator from Star Labs explodes. In a coma for 9 months, Barry awakens at Star Labs, having been placed in the care of its founder, Harrison Wells, and assistant, Dr. Caitlin Snow and Cisco Ramon. Barry learns he can move at extraordinary speeds, and there were other metahumans created from this explosion. One of them, Clyde Martin, is robbing banks with his ability to control weather. In order to stop Martin, Barry is outfitted with a suit designed by Cisco that can withstand high speeds. He tracks down Martin and Detective Joe West, who learns of Barry's abilities. Barry's able to stop Martin, who's killed by Joe. With his new powers, Barry vows to exonerate his father, Henry, who is incarcerated for murdering his wife, Nora, whom Barry witnessed at a young age being killed by another metahuman. He chooses the alias The Flash for his alter ego. Wells, secretly revealed to be neither paraplegic nor needing glasses, reads a newspaper from 2024 stating the missing status of The Flash. That's right. We found out that Wells Abard was faking it in the very first episode, which set up that whole mystery. And after reading that, I remember how good that first episode was. The first episode was a really good premiere.
Wait, are you reading off Wikipedia?
Yeah, that's a synopsis of the episode.
Yeah, but that's a plot summary, not a synopsis.
Well, still, that tells us what happened in the episode.
Okay, I thought you were going to read the synopsis, sizes. I didn't realize you're going to be reading summaries.
Well, I have to read the whole thing.
Good, start to the show. I rewatched that episode quite a lot.
All right. Season 2, episode 1 is The Man Who Saved Central City. Now, this is the one where Firestorm helps Barry destroy the singularity at the cost of Ronnie's life.
Oh, no.
6 months later, Barry is still operating alone, using his speed to fix Central City. Cisco works at the police department alongside Joe. Caitlin works at Mercury Labs. I forgot about that. I forgot Caitlin.
That's me listening to anything Ben has to say.
Did you forget Caitlin was at Mercury Labs at the beginning of season 2?
I knew she was at a lab. I couldn't remember if it was Mercury Labs or what's the other one? Well, the other one's her mum's, isn't it? So I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but maybe it could have been. But I don't think her mum was brought into like season 4 or something.
This is the one where he fights Atom Smasher.
Okay, the Edge.
Yes. And then
what's the Edge's theme song? Someday, or what? Something like that.
As he dies, Rothstein tells Barry he was sent to kill him by someone named Zoom. Barry receives a flash memory from Harrison Wells, a lawyer containing the confession to killing Nora. Henry is exonerated and released from prison and leaves Central City so that Barry can focus on being the Flash. That was the introduction of Zoom, but it was an Atom Smasher episode.
What do you think of that one?
I don't think it was as good as the premiere, the pilot episode.
Yeah. What's he doing?
That was the Edge's theme song.
So right now, pilot first place, season 2 premiere second place, right?
Yeah,
that's the way we're doing it. Okay.
Oh, it's on this day. That's what it is. I knew it was something like
season 3. This is where it gets a little edgy. We had Flashpoint as the opening episode. That's the one with Kid Flash, where Iris and him are working together.
And the rival.
What was that?
The rival.
The rival is the villain in the episode, and this is the one where Barry does Flashpoint. We're very disappointed because it was one episode. Flashpoint was one episode.
Oh, we have Reverse Flash as well in the episode.
Yes. But we have the rival, and we have the Matt Lesher Reverse Flash, who's actually really good in this one. And this is the one where Barry starts to lose his memory of the previous timeline, which hasn't really happened again since Flashpoint. We've seen timelines change, but have we seen where people's memories sort of fade away or no?
Not really.
Godspeed? Well, he was faking that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think that is actually better than the season 2.
Well, to a degree, Savitar, but that's because Barry was changing them.
I would put this above the season 2 premiere, though.
I would definitely.
I think the season 2 premiere is actually probably the weakest outside of this season's one.
Okay. Let's keep going then.
I think back.
So-
correct me, but you'll refresh my memory as we go along.
Right now, my ranking is 1, 3, 2.
I agree.
Okay. Season 4 premieres The Flash Reborn. This is the one where Iris has been the team leader for 6 months.
That's the way. Yeah.
And they're refusing to grieve Barry because, as you know, there was the tease that Barry was gone at the end of season 3. They have the Flying Samurai. Samuroid. Yeah, but at that point it was a Flying Samurai.
Correcting you, Samuroid.
Yeah. Cisco reveals a way to bring Barry back without destabilizing the Speed Force. He asks Caitlin for help, but is forbidden by Iris to bring Barry back. We remember that because he had that device. What was it called? It
was like the tracker, the tachyon tracker or some crap like
that. Let's see. They have the android the samurai reveals to be an android. Caitlin rejoins Team Flash, revealed to have been working with Amunet Black. That was the beginning of the crazy Caitlin storyline that kind of went downhill.
Amunet Black,
but she's not in that episode. She's in she was a girls' night out. She shows up in for the first time. Ben's favorite episode.
While continuing to prevent the Killer Frost personality from emerging, the Samuroid is revealed to have been controlled by a supremely intelligent man in a superpowered wheelchair whose plan was to draw out the Flash for his next scheme. So that was the beginning of season 4. I
think he's also the guy that made the song "Whip It."
Oh, really? The Cork Sphere. That's right. I couldn't remember the name of it. Thank you so much for reminding me of that. I would say this. So this is the one where the tone change happened that kind of annoyed everybody.
It was terrible.
But you're not talking about episode 1. You're talking about episode 2, the ones
3
after.
Oh my god!
Episode 1 doesn't have that tone.
Yes, it was the marbles on the
episode
ground.
1's actually very I would say very dramatic.
Very season 3-ish. You would say very season 3-ish.
Or just dramatic in general. Just it has a bit of a more somber tone because it's even very bit cinematic as well.
Oh my gosh! You know who wrote it? Andrew Kreisberg. He wrote that episode.
Well, he was still the showrunner at that time.
Yeah.
It was that season because that was during season 3 of Supergirl when they had to rewrite it,
which was season 4 of The Flash,
and it got delayed. Right. Yeah, in season 4. So but with The Flash, I guess they could keep using his stuff.
Yeah.
No, because he wrote it, but the Helbing brothers were showrunning.
Yes.
Yeah, Helbing brothers were showrunning at that point. Yeah.
So I would say this one, if I remember correctly, I enjoyed this episode. So I would still put this above season 2. So for me, it would be 1, 3, 4, 2. 2 is still at the end. Would you put Ben? You're like,
I don't know. I might.
Wait, what was your ranking?
1, 3, 4, 2. 2 is still at the end. I'd put 3 above this one.
Yeah, I would as well. 1, 3, 4, 2 sounds right. Yeah.
1, 3. No, 1, 3, 2, 4. I can't put.
Wow.
And this is not the place to expose yourself. Please, we're throwing you a bone. We're throwing you a bone.
All right. The Flash season 5 episode 1 is titled Nora. And this is the episode where the team meets Nora, Barry and Iris's daughter from the future.
Yeah.
After the punch.
Yeah. This was a good episode. I really like
this. One's a good one. This is actually probably one of the better ones of.
I don't even really have to this has got the gridlock guy who can harness kinetic energy. Where they have the plane thing, the plane scene, which was really good with Wally.
That episode.
I don't even have to read this. I remember this one. There was the dagger, the lightning shaped dagger that they have during the episode that teases Cicada.
Actually, hold up. Not Hammer time, but Ben time. How do you pronounce it?
Cicada, we told you many times.
I see. Eric says cicada now. I've converted him.
Cicada.
He's doing this to annoy me. Yeah. But he says cicada.
Okay, so for me, this is clearly
cicada overall.
This clearly breaks like the other one. So this for me, 1 is still number 1, right? This is number 2 for me. And I could argue this might even beat number 1. It's very close to beating number 1.
I remember going into this season, there was a lot of hype for season 5. Obviously, by the end of it, falls down in its phase. But this was a really good start. This actually,
you know what? Screw that. This is the better one. So it's going to be 5, 1, 3, 4, 2.
I don't know. The only thing that elevates 1 is that it has those roots of the show. It kicks off that story and that mystery, that.
Still, though, I think the scene in the airplane and the punch and all that, and this one's just way more.
I think the thing is that season 1 gets most pilot episodes are going to be good because your intention is to make it like it has so much stuff in it
Yeah.
because it's like to sell the show.
This
Well,
one
like,
edges
season
out
5
one for
being such
me.
a good
This one
one.
edges out one for me. So I'm going to put this first.
You know what? I'll agree with you. I'll say 5 as well because the only thing that I think keeps 1 up there is that general like night of Nora's death.
Yeah,
So
and that's it. I think the rest of the pile is pretty.
But that's why I can't put 5
5,
above 1.
1, 3, 2, and 4. That is my ranking right now.
No way. 2 is last.
Oh, 4, 2. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no way.
5,
2 better than 4.
1, 3,
1,
4, 2.
5,
Right.
3, 2, 4 for me.
Okay.
1,
All
5, 3, 2, 4.
Right, I just need to make sure because I can just track Eric to see if I'm agreeing with him.
Yeah.
5, yes. 1, yes. I'll go with 3.
All right.
Yeah, and then 4's better than 2. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're at season 6 now. Into the Void. And this is moments after losing their daughter, because remember at the end of season 5, like she got evaporated. Find their message destroyed. 4 months later, they have seemingly come to terms with what happened, but their friends are not convinced. While recovering Nora's discarded suit at the junkyard, Iris is nearly pulled into a black hole. This is the black hole season, by the way, in case anybody's wondering. Then we have the Chester
this is the trailer we watched at Comic-Con page.
Is it?
Yeah.
We have
it was, yeah, because this is before COVID.
Yep, this is the Bloodwork introduction. It has Chester P. Runk.
Oh yeah, mate.
Thing.
It's actually pretty bad you didn't go that you're the Eric Johnston thing because that was worth going to. I'm so glad that was the one I went to because that was when you had the Crisis build up.
Arrow was there.
All the shows were all the shows were there. It was Arrow's final season. Ben was getting annoyed at me because I was going woo. Ben was like, "Can you stop? People look at us."
This is also the episode where Caitlin and Frost are trying to live their lives. Like Caitlin and Frost are trying to live their lives. We have Bloodwork introduced. We have Barry and Iris learn the Monitor destroyed Nora's message by discouraging Barry from changing his fate during the impending crisis, as the Flash must die so billions can live.
They're gonna say the flavor.
The flavor. I don't think this was a bad one. I think this actually would fall in the middle somewhere for me.
This one is just like it's the straight up build up for Crisis and the journey that they're going to go through for the first half of the season. So it's not on its own that amazing. It's more in the context of season 6, while a lot of these other ones are just great on their own.
So what does it actually set up in Crisis? Because I don't actually remember the whole episode.
It sets up like Nora's video message and was it that the things changed or whatever it was? Like the newspaper changed and they see that it changed. Like the dates
in the room, yeah.
It's got
because at the end of season 5, I think we see that the newspaper changes, but at the beginning of season 6, they learn about it.
Okay. And this is where I wish they would stop talking about the newspaper at this point in season 6. I'm like, we're done with this. Like,
well, once Crisis happened, the newspaper should have just been stopped talking about it.
Yeah,
let alone the.
But this is the one where we introduce Chester because he gets his powers and starts like
he is like the black hole
or whatever, right? Because remember, black hole organization. Chester's power is black holes. Like all this misdirect.
And this was Eric Wallace's first episode as showrunner.
5, 1, 3.
This is better than 2, but it's second last.
4,
6, 2.
6 and 2. Yeah, that's it right there. So that is my new lineup. All right.
Okay, mine is 1. I actually wrote it down wrong before, but 1, 3, 5, 6, 2, 4.
4 is last? Seriously? Wow. You really hate the
I hate season 4. What can I say?
Wow.
I get triggered every time someone says Samuroid.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, thanks for the screenshot. Anyway, we'll move on.
All right, so we're getting close here. Season 7, episode 1. Now, this was an interesting one because this is actually the end of season 6. So this premiere was not intended to be a premiere. It was like probably the penultimate episode, if I remember correctly, or close to the penultimate episode. But this was season 7, episode 1, All's Wells That Ends Wells. And this is the one where Barry preserves himself freezes himself to preserve his 1% speed force, because remember, he was losing his speed at this point. He awakens when Eva McCullough is spotted destroying Black Hole's remnants, tries to convince her to stop or release his wife Iris, who at this point was still in the Mirrorverse, which by the way took up like a good chunk of last season at the end of the season. near the beginning of season 7. But to no avail, Eva ends her latest attack by destroying Sam Scudder, her first mirror duplicate, in front of Rosalind Dillon. Oh gosh, I forgot about that. Cecile interrogates Dillon, learning that he's working with Eva. She plans to use a bomb to destroy a black hole plane over Central City. Forgot about that too. Nash, Wells, and Wells's occupying his mind realize they can activate Barry's artificial speed force generator, but it will result in Nash's death. Oh, I forgot about the artificial speed force generator that kind of created the forces.
Oh yeah.
At the beginning of the season. Nash sacrificed himself with the other Welleses to restore Barry's speed. Barry saves Central City and informs his friend about Nash's sacrifice. Elsewhere, Iris attempts to escape the Mirrorverse while Eva discovers she's... This was a really strong premiere, but I think it's because it was supposed to be the end of a season. But
yeah, it was meant to be like one of those penultimate.
I remember I liked it, but oh my god,
Eva, the first 2 episodes of season 7 were actually really good.
I think you gave this one a 10 out of 10.
I did.
Back
then? It was a really good episode. This is tough for me because I feel like this could be high up on the list, honestly.
I think it's a hard one because I don't think you really should count this one. I think you probably count like 704 or 705.
Wasn't it? 03.
So the beginning, so the God Complex then. Season Central City Strong was the first episode.
That was the Abracadabra episode.
Yes. So are we counting that as the season premiere?
No, I guess you would because that felt like that felt like something you get in the season.
Yeah, but you can't do it because it's not the actual premiere.
But it's what the premiere would have been if COVID didn't happen.
Are we cheating?
I don't know if you...
Hey, lady.
I think
you're at the tail end of the stream. I'm sorry, but it'll be available as soon as we're done. Sorry, but thank you for being.
I think you're cheating if you put episode 1 of season 7 in. I think you have to put episode 4 because at the end of that episode, Ben's favorite force, Faweza, shows up, and that feels like something that happened at the season premiere.
Yeah, like a teaser for what's to come.
Yeah. And it sort of feels like it as well.
Okay, so in the chat, should we count season 7, episode 1 as the premiere or episode 4 as the premiere? Just give us a general idea of what you think. Should we count episode 1 of season 7, which would have actually been the end of season 6, or should we do?
Because honestly, I think if we count 1, it goes to number 1. I think it's the best episode. It is
probably.
So that's why I think it's a cheat code.
So episode 4. I'm seeing a lot of 4s.
Not better than the pilot.
Oh, I think
the pilot's not even number 1 on our list here at the moment.
It's number 1 on my list.
Yeah, but your list is all over the place, Ben. I honestly, I think a baby chimp has a better list than you at the moment, Ben.
I'm seeing a lot of 4s and a few 1s here.
So what we need to decide?
Okay, all right. So
you can do a poll, Eric.
You can on YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube, you click like a thing down the bottom.
Oh, cool. All right, here we go.
1 or 4?
All right, 7X01 or 7X04 as premiere. I didn't know they added this.
Yeah, it's someone new. While we wait, you can bring up my image.
Okay, hold on. All right, so the poll is going to... How long does it run for? Does it just run for a while?
It's not very long.
You can stop it when you want.
Okay. I'm going to run a poll. Everyone in the chat, we've got 158 people here, so I'd like to see at least 50% vote on this to tell us what you think. And while we're doing that, we'll bring up Paige's image. The poll is running. There we go.
Better go catch it.
All right.
Thoughts, Ben?
It's nice. Hogwarts.
See, I was expecting to run into you in the whole
suit, the costume, or what?
You can analyze whatever you want. If I could turn my broom around, obviously this is just a photo. I'd show you my broom. It has fire coming out the back of it.
If you want to see that, you have to visit Paige's Twitch, twitch.tv/.
I've actually never played this, so I don't know what goes on with it. This game.
Have you ever played an RPG?
No, Ben doesn't play video games.
I used to play like CS:GO and stuff, so more COD.
Anyway, let's go.
All right.
Were you a no-scoper, Ben?
I'm gonna give you guys another like 15 seconds to vote. Go vote on the poll at the top of the screen.
Same season 4 is winning. Episode 4, sorry.
Common W. Common W, yeah.
All right, here we go. We're going to end the poll. We have 56 votes. That's a good amount. So the poll is ended, and the winner was by an overwhelming amount. Episode 4. So episode 4 is the one, like Paige said, with the T with abracadabra, and the T's for the 4 forces. So, yeah. So I don't think that one's better than the first episode of the season.
No, episode 1 won that vote. 701 would be number 1.
Right. But it's still a good episode.
It's still 704 is a good episode. I remember.
Is it better than season 6's premiere? Do you think? Than the blood work.
I think it's better than 2. Is it better than 4?
I think I go 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 2, 4. So over 2 and 4.
I don't know if it's. I'm trying to think. I know it's better than 2.
I think the abracadabra stuff was like pretty good.
All right, so fun. 5 is still first for me.
5
is still second, right?
I can't believe you guys put in 5 first when that's like I love that season much more than you guys.
Hey, we had it was 5. It was 5, 1, 3, 4, 2, right?
5, 1, 3. 4, 6, 2.
All right,
wasn't it?
All right, that seems right. So where are we going to put this season then?
Season 8.
No, season 7. Season 7.
I think it's better than 2, but I don't know if it's better than 6. Because 6 also had the new suit as well.
Well, here's the deal.
That?
Yes, that's true. That is true. That is true. I would say this is after 6 then for me.
I think it's 6, 7, 2.
And I'm going to pin this so I don't lose it again. All right. Pin the comment here at the top. All right. So we don't lose it. Naruto's been a Team Eric member for 11 months. Says, just joined. Is that Ben I see? He actually showed.
Don't worry. We were fucking as much surprised as you are right now.
Yeah. That's funny. That's funny.
Matt, it got to the point where we're getting 5 minutes out from showtime and Ben hadn't showed up. He was meant to...
Okay, so that brings us to season 8.
He taking the wrong flu network.
This is going to be tough for me because you guys know how I felt.
Diagon Alley.
Too much Allegro in my system.
Season 8 was Armageddon Part 1. That immediately is number 1 for me. Armageddon Part 1 is immediately number 1 for me.
Yeah.
Wait,
is it 2 or 3, which is the best one out of that? I'm trying to remember. I think it's 3.
Yeah. I think 3 is the
absolutely
best,
ridiculously good. Like 3 out of 3 is like a 10 out of 10.
But I think every episode in Armageddon is like a top episode of the Flash.
Except 5 is probably like a 7, 7.5.
Because of the way they wrap it up. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But 8 is unequivocally number 1 for me, honestly.
So we get Despero in the episode. We have the Atom come back.
The thing at the end where like Barry learns that Joe is dead, and then he runs back and you get that thing where he turns on the news, and then it shows that he's destroyed all this stuff. That there's an evil Flash going around. But is that episode 1 or is that part? No, that's part 2. That's part 2.
Yeah. So what happens in
episode 1 is
you want me to read
it? Yeah.
2031, Despero witnesses the end of the world. 6 months after Godspeed War, Barry Allen's skills have gradually improved. After stopping a train collision in record time, he apprehends the Royal Flush Gang during a cryptocurrency heist. Iris West Allen heads to a larger and stronger Central City Citizen Media interviews Kristen Kramer, who has disbanded the MetaHuman Task Force. She promotes Garcia.
This is like one of the weaker ones because this has the Royal Flush Gang in it.
They're good in this.
They're
good in this.
I hate the Royal Flush Gang. They're cringe.
What?
They're so cringe.
But I think they're supposed to be, right?
Yeah, but no, too far.
Despero arrives and attacks the tech convention. He attempts to kill Barry, stating he is responsible for the underworld. Barry or Ray suits up as the Atom. That's right, the Atom's in this one.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, I think all the crossover characters elevate it.
All I know is I still think this is better than
except for Maya. Maya probably.
So this is my new ranking
better
here.
Than the Royal
This
Flush
is the new ranking here.
Oh, you put 8 number 1.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm edgy.
So right now, Pager, we literally locked in at the same 8-5-1-3-4-6-7-2.
8-5-1. I'm tossed up between 3 and 4. I think it is.
Okay.
But I'm happy just for the sake of streamlining it and making it the same thing. I'm happy with putting 3 above 4 because it's like neck and neck.
I was gonna say I think 3 and 4 are very almost interchangeable in that spot.
Yeah, I'm happy with how that is at the moment though. Okay. 8-5-1-3-4-6.
So that brings us to season 9's premiere, which is Wednesday Ever After. I'm gonna say, unfortunately, it is gonna be at the lower end.
Okay. I thought you were gonna say it's gonna be dead last. I was gonna say it's edgy because I probably put it second last.
I was gonna do the same thing.
Yeah.
So this is my final ranking here. 8.
We got 8-5-1. 3-4-6-7-9-2, and then Ben did a poo. Yeah, vegan. Yeah.
All right. I'm going 1, 3, 5, 8, 9, 6, 7, 2, 4. Complete edge.
1, 3, 5.
Here is my final. Here is my final one. Here.
What? Ben, you can't do
9.
that.
I liked it.
You can. Do I have to bring up the old tweet? And it's that's why you put it in the middle. It's to avoid any sort of backlash again.
Nope.
Look, I've said this. Ben's phobia is West Alleners. He's scared of them. He fears them.
You fear them.
I don't fear them.
They blocked your Twitter.
They fear me. They block me. Exactly.
Before we wrap this up, Anthony says, Ben, give a single reason that
it's the pilot, it's the premiere, it sets up the whole show, it's the best. It's the episode you'll always go back to. Tell me and 5 more than go to 1.
Okay, so but hypothetically, think about this. Go switch it on. If they moved the night of Nora's death to somewhere in the middle as a bit more of a mystery thing, and it wasn't in that pilot episode, I know you can say that about a couple of different things, but I'm just wondering, is that what makes it number 1 for you? That stuff,
definitely.
Because I was going to say the weather with stuff is pretty basic. It's not that.
No, I'm talking about the Nora stuff, the reverse.
So that's what makes it number 1 for you. Okay.
And the introduction to Barry, like seeing Barry for the
but even if it just took out the Nora stuff and they left that for like another episode as like a mystery thing.
Yeah,
that would it still be number 1, or would you move it down a couple of
if we still have the introduction to Barry and stuff, like I really like getting to see him. I agree the Weather Wizard stuff's not as good, but there is other stuff in the episode that.
And I'll be honest, if we had gone with 701 for me, it probably would have been way higher on the list. It probably would have been closer to like the 1.
I think it'd be between 8 and 7, which is number 1. If you actually took that something 01 as the thing.
Amethyst, you left out season 2. You left out season 2.
It was probably last. I'm going to assume she puts it last.
All right, so King Vader. King Vader says 1, 8, 5, 6, 7, 9, 3, 4, 2.
Why is Flashpoint so low?
I don't know. I think sometimes a lot of people can like mix up 1 and episode 2 of season 3 because episode 2, isn't as strong because that's when like the rival comes into the other timeline and stuff like that. Yeah. And it feels almost like a repeat of the first episode, but just not as good. But I think the Flashpoint episode is pretty solid.
I think it's solid.
Anybody that is putting 2 at the end is goated. Anybody that puts 2 at the end is goated for real because 2 is the literally.
But trust me, go watch season 2, episode 1 again. It's a solid entry point into season 2, but everything just gets fixed so far. Like everyone just gets over the trauma from the end of season 1 like that. Without as if it's nothing. That's my it's a very and there's no reason to. That was still when we were on the 23 episodes per season thing, and Zoom was the villain for the entire season. They didn't need to rush.
Yeah.
But like it's all resolved. Like everyone's just happy being back in Star Labs after 1 episode.
You know what? It's so funny to me. Almost everyone is putting 2 at the end except for Ben. Ben has.
I haven't seen Bryce here for a while, but Bryce came in with the goated comment as well.
Yeah. Got that edge, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it edge. It's not the flex you think it is, Ben. It's not. It's not the flex you think it is. Putting 2 in second last and 4 last.
Wow. So the Flash put 2 in the middle.
Yeah. Okay.
We might have a new. You might be saved from the L, Ben. You might be.
Ben, look who's here. Flash
put 2 ahead of 9.
Well, that's
Yeah, but
well, that's
look what
I don't know.
the Flash Force has at number 1.
All right, next time I see you,
Ben was siding with Flashverse and then decided to.
Wasn't he just at your place yesterday?
Yeah,
or like
next time we're gonna beat him up. Yeah.
But I did hear that Ben tried to force feed him vegan food, so maybe that is like some vegan butter or something like that.
Yeah.
What was it? It was like vegan butter, vegan sausages.
No comment.
Oh no!
Wait, can you show us your pantry? Just like what's in there? Like, can you go grab like one thing that's very vegan and abnormal? My sister was vegan for like 3 years, and some of the stuff like that was in that thing, like all the alternatives, was just like eat the proper thing. Now she's not vegan anymore. But
so this is one thing I see a lot with season 4 is that a lot of people don't like that Iris is running.
Because it's the thing with that, it's not necessarily Iris running Team Flash, though it makes no sense that she'd really jump everything and be the leader. It's more where we leave Iris in season 3 that it makes no sense why she would be like, you know what, I'm going to go to Star Labs and lead it. It makes no sense. Yeah. She would go the opposite way. And yeah. Okay, what's this?
Baked beans.
Yeah, baked beans. I eat baked beans. They're not.
Yeah, but it's English.
Wait, what is that brand though? Show it.
Oh, it's the cheapest one. It's like 20p.
El Cheapo. Get Heinz. That's what you get.
Heinz is expensive. It's like £1 for.
What? Heinz isn't expensive here. Heinz is like I guess it's like SPC, I think it is, or something. But just get Heinz. That's vegan Peronaise. So it's just vegan mayo.
Yeah.
Well, how do they make vegan mayonnaise? Like just oil?
Let me read you the ingredients. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, mayonnaise is
water,
egg.
Rapeseed oil. So yeah, oil.
Oh, I thought you said something else there. Thank God.
Vinegar. Yeah, there's just no egg.
It was about to go edgy. Yeah, that was going to be real edgy.
Well, it would have been a new word. That's what it would have been. What's this?
Pagey's his mind. He's like 70 years old. Can't move on. Oh, the good old days.
All right, this is the last comment, and then we're going to wrap things up.
Good old days when I could have egg in my mayonnaise.
Wow.
I'm not dissing the fact that it doesn't have any egg. I'm curious.
I feel really young. That comment makes me feel young. I appreciate it.
Like, what's the substitute there? Like, what's the substitute? It's oil. So it's just. But like, what's the? Because mayonnaise is egg with oil.
But there's a long list of ingredients. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm wondering what the substitute is for the egg.
I don't know if that's it.
I think with vegan stuff, they have to use multiple things to replace.
It's probably like a ground up like
plant protein,
vegetable or something.
I don't know.
Can you eat some on camera? Put it on your finger.
No. I'm not. That's disgusting.
Robert,
what do you mean? You're the one eating it. You're the one on the board.
I stand by Iris wanting to be there to fill in the berry-shaped hole in her life because while they were close and knew each other.
Oh, here you go. If I go get Vegemite, and if I eat a spoonful of Vegemite, will you have a spoonful of Peronaise?
No.
The vegan Peronaise.
He's not going to do it. You know,
I'm not going to eat Peronaise by itself. I don't know. It has to be on something like in bread. You know.
Don't say in bread. They will definitely get banned from the stream.
I'm really old. AG is middle, and Ben is really young. So.
Yeah, Pagey is like mid-age, you know.
I'm much closer to Ben's age than I am Eric's age.
Yes, that's true. All right, thank you everybody for joining us for the premiere of The Flash. Don't forget next week to join us again, same time, same place. Maybe Ben will show up. I don't know. It depends on what he's got going on. But we're out of here. It
depends if he survived the incoming assault from West Islanders after they realized he's been faking the entire time.
Make sure you follow all of us on Twitter. We're very active over there. And then you can follow myself and Pagey on Twitch, twitch.tv /Eric's Reloaded and twitch.tv/Pagmeist for Pagey. As we stream there. So, there we go. Anyway,
you got a little alfalfa going thing.
Yeah. We're out of here.
Little rascals.
Have a good night. See you later.
See you later. Bye.